Oh, I hope we don't have problems freezing tonight. I think, hey, everybody, I think the last time I showed my face, we had some problems with the computer. I mean, not the computer, the internet. And I hope we don't have them problems tonight. So, how y'all doing? Hold on, I'm trying to pull this up. How y'all doing tonight? I'm doing wonderful. I'm just trying to make sure we don't have no internet problems. So, hold on. Internet problems. Let me put this up here because this is my signal that the Wi-Fi is messing up. Okay, so hold on. Let me get this up, and then I'm ready. Hold on. So how y'all doing? I hope y'all had a great day today. I had a pretty good day. I've been working on this Black Acre stuff for weeks now, and I want to introduce myself. My name is Kiki Loves Nigeria. I'm the host of this show. And on this show, we talk about anything and everything that impacts you visiting, traveling. I mean, visiting and traveling is the same thing, but you know what I mean. Which impacts you going to West Africa. Well, not West Africa. I'm sorry. We talk about all of Africa on this channel. So, our goal is that we want you to go to Africa and travel safely and come back home without any problems. A lot of people that we talk about on this channel, they've went to Africa and they've had all kind of problems, okay? We don't want that for you. We want you to stay safe and we want you to come back and have no problems. So that's why we do this show. So tonight we are finishing our conversation about, excuse me, Black Acres of the Gambia. We do a series from time to time called Where Are They Now? And these are repats who repatriated to the Gambia during the COVID time, and they were highly visible on YouTube, and they played a major role in people repatriating. And so these are the people that we talk about when we do our Where Are They Now? So Black Acres of the Gambia are huge, okay? They are like one of the hugest in this YouTube space about repatriation next to our Kathy and Quasi Boy. I believe if they would have, Phoenix wouldn't have interfered with that, I believe that would have been, they would have been, the leaders in this whole movement because it was, and it would have been a safer movement because the way that Quasi and Art and all the other people had it set up, you weren't on your own. See, once they got there and Invest Relocate Africa was blown apart, there was no safety net. Invest Relocate Africa was designed like a safety net, okay? So you weren't going there and just out on your own. No, you weren't doing that. You were in a community, you were with a group of people. They were teaching you the language, they were teaching you the social customs, they were teaching you how to survive there. But when this Invest Relocate Africa was gone, there was nobody there to do that. So Black Acres stepped up and they wanted to be this I guess, the gatekeepers. They wanted to be in charge of who was coming there. They wanted to decide who would be accepted in the community there. They wanted to be the end all, be all when it came to repatriation to the Gambia. Okay. So that's how important these people are to this movement, to the Gambia. They're extremely important. You can't talk about repatriation to Gambia from, I'd say, 2017 to 2000 to now to present without talking about Black Acres of the Gambia. That's how big these people are. But somewhere along the way, um, I guess who Black Acres, who they were, Rick and Cynthia, really came out. And when we saw who they really were, because people pretend on YouTube. People can, but the devil can only pretend for so long. My grandmother used to say, he can only hide himself for so long. So Black Acres could only hide themselves for so long before they revealed to us who they really were. So that's where we are tonight. Last week we talked about No, the week before that, we talked about who Black Acres were, who they are, where did they start? You know, when they came from Clarksville, Tennessee. Remember, we talked about were they really here on a repack on a what is that uh, Pan African movement, and we didn't think so. We felt like Rick and Cynthia was running from legal issues and financial issues, and they were just using the Pan African movement as a way to get money, as a way to get followers, as a way to get sympathizers, as a way to get supporters. So after that, we looked at the issues that they started to have, the raffle. Because, see, once you get to Africa, you have to find a way to support yourself. I'm sorry, let me do the fair use first because I'm about to start showing some videos. Okay, so this is fair use. And fair use is when, let me get my script up here. That's when I use other people's videos, other people's copyrighted material, but it's not, it's not done in a malicious intent way to steal their material. No, if anything, it's done to highlight their material. I use it to show you, to give you examples, from a primary source. YouTube is a primary source. These videos are primary sources. They're coming from the people who said it. Okay, and that's why I like to use them, because they come directly from the people who said it. So YouTube is a primary source, so I use their videos. All right, that way you can't say, oh, well, I heard so and so. No, we heard you say it, and we heard it in your video. All right, so that's why I use other people's videos. It's for educational purpose, research, commentary, and what else? Just public awareness, really. So that's why we use other people's videos, and the Supreme Court has ruled that we can do so under the copyright law of 1976, section, I think it's 550 of the copyright law of 1976. And we can use it under fair use. All right. Again, everything on here is alleged. It is our opinions based on facts. Also, everything is alleged, your opinions. Oh, everybody's opinion, everybody's entitled to their opinion on this channel. Okay. I don't try to regulate people's opinions. I don't try to tell you what to think. You're entitled to think what you want to. So if you don't agree with somebody's opinion, that has nothing to do with me and everything to do with the person who said it. All right. So I think that's it. And then everything is alleged, unless I tell you that it was ruled on in so I'm freezing up. So y'all know what? I think it's the Wi-Fi. Let me go back over here. Can y'all at least hear me? Tell me if I look frozen to y'all, because on my phone, I look frozen. So tell me if y'all can hear me or if I look frozen. Tell me what's going on out there for real, because on my phone, I am frozen. But when I look on the screen, I'm not. You are not frozen. Okay, it's my phone, man. Okay, good. All right, so that's where we are tonight. All right, so now we've talked about who they were last week before last. We talked about the raffle. We talked about the the plaques. We talked about all of that. All right. So now remember, all this time, I still didn't have an issue with Black Acres, even though I remember it was a lady who used to come on here all the time, and I think her name was something Love. I can't remember. I can't remember her name, but it had love in it, and she used to always come on here and talk about Black Acres. I didn't. I would always defend them. I would always take up for them. So finally, I think it was after I had went there. So that's where we're going to start tonight. We're going to start with me going there and then what happened after that. Okay. Because when I went there and I met Rick and Cynthia, I thought they were nice. I'm serious. I thought Rick and Cynthia were the nicest people in the world. I thought Black Acres was very nice, even though it did, looked a little run down and it needed a lot of work. I still thought it was it was a nice place. So, I still had a lot of respect for Rick and Cynthia. But once I got back here, well, there, I could tell a little bit there because when we were out at Black Acres, Rick had pulled John, Big John, aside, okay? And he had told Big John, why would you bring this lady out here? You know, this lady is a spy. This lady is working with UN, which was a complete lie. You know, she's working with UN. She's out here spying on us for him, which was a complete lie. So, but I didn't know any of this. I'm not knowing Rick is saying any of this because Rick is smiling in my face, acting like we're the best of friends. The gifts I gave them, they loved them. They act like they loved them. But then I go, a couple, I guess, month or two later, and they're making a video about me. But before that, they had been started saying little things because Rick and Cynthia are very sneaky and underhanded. They're not upstanding people. Upstanding people, if they have an issue with you, they're going to tell you to your face. It's not going to be a question. It's not going to be, I didn't know. You're going to know, and you're going to know why. So when I was there, it was not like they had an issue with me. It was just like, oh, you worked, not a, they thought I worked for him. But to me, when you work for somebody, you get paid or you get something. You either get paid in cash or you get, it wasn't like that. It was YouTube content creators. Okay. Hey, I know how to do this type of research. You need some help with the research you're doing. I can show you how to do the research. It was like that. I will show, just like I show you guys how to do the research. So it was like that. Then I explained to them, they were saying, oh, he's coming out here spying on us and he's doing this. And I'm like, no, people, at that point, UN was getting a lot of information from their Patreons. All right. They had a Patreon channel. And somebody on their Patreon channel was paying to spy on them. All right. And these people, and it was more than one person, they would email him, just like people email me, and they would email him these receipts of things that was going on out at Black Acres. So I'm explaining that to her. I'm like, no, it's not like that, Cynthia. Nobody is sitting up making up stuff about you. People are really writing with this information because I've seen the information. So she act like, everything was all good and, she understood and everything. And that was the end of it. But no, that was not the end of it. That was the beginning. But I didn't know because, again, Rick and Cynthia are very cowardly. They smile in your face while they sticking 2 knives in your back. Okay. So after that, again, John had told me something was said because I told y'all me and John got in a big, huge argument after after Rick and Cynthia had left because the driver had lost the keys. Rick and Cynthia had left us out there. They left. They did. I don't think they realized. No, they did help us find the keys. They stayed and helped us find the keys because Cynthia told me people lose their keys out there all the time. And then I was like, that made me say, I just thought that's odd. That's really odd that people lose their keys out there all the time. So I'm like, what? Because this is a big old land. And if you're losing keys, how are you going to find them? That's all I'm thinking about is it's so much land. There's so many weeds. There's so many this, that. How are we going to ever find these keys? So I was just praying. Everybody was just praying. And Cynthia was like, well, you'll find them. They always find them. And I'm like, what? So she was, like this is just what happens. So we found the keys. Rick and Cynthia left. We got in this big argument, me and John. It was a huge argument. And the driver actually had to intervene to stop the argument because it was that bad. And come to find out, John was upset because Rick had asked him why would he bring me out there when he knew that I was on the other team, I guess spying on them. So John was like, no, he didn't know. And the way John found out was low down because I had hooked up to their Wi-Fi when I was here, when I was at their house. And somehow he could look through my phone. Like he could look and see my contacts. And he saw his number in my phone. And that's when he was like, why is this dude's number in her phone? But why are you looking through my phone? That's the question. Why are you looking through my phone? So John tells me that, oh, I saw his number. I knew something was up because I saw his number in your phone. And I'm like, how did you do that? You never had my phone. I never gave him my phone where he could look through my phone. So he was like, oh, that's what he told me. That's how he got it. I guess I got on the Bluetooth or either I got on the Wi-Fi. Something I got on there, he could go through my phone. So he saw the number, so he figured something was up too. I'm like, what? Why don't y'all just ask me instead of making these assumptions? And even furthermore, why are you looking through my phone? So after I find out all of this, he's like, okay, Kiki, you better not mess me up with my peoples. This is just what he said. I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, Rick is mad because you and this dude is cool, and he think I had something to do with you coming out there. And I'm like, wait a minute, what do you mean? And he's like, well, people, they think I'm coming out there to spy on them. I'm like, oh my God, okay, whatever. So I'm not thinking nothing else about it. We go on from that. We get in an argument. The argument is over. I leave. I'm still not thinking nothing more about Rick and Cynthia. I noticed they didn't come to the birthday party. They said they were, but they didn't come. And I think John even called them that day, and they said they were coming, but they weren't there. It was a lot of repats who were there, and that was really nice because they didn't know me. And it was last minute, and a lot of them just showed up and I thought that was really nice, and it was really fun. So they didn't come, and so I didn't think anything of it. Again, I'm not thinking anything of any of this. I'm thinking everything is cool with us. Everything is fine. I wanted to be transparent. I'm not spying on anybody. I don't spy on any. I don't have that spy sneaky mentality. I'm a very open person. So if I'm doing something, you're going to know it because I'm just going to ask you. Okay. So I get back here. I don't think nothing else of Rick and Cynthia. That was my first trip. I don't think nothing else of it. All right. So I get back here, but people start telling me, they start writing me, and they start saying, Rick and Cynthia are talking about you, Cynthia. And I was like, what? And I would hear her say, she would talk about a lady behind a desk. And everybody know I sit behind the desk because this is my workspace from home. So I do my videos in this workspace. So she kept talking about this lady who sit behind the desk. And I'm like, who is she talking about? I know this chick ain't talking about me. So I would ignore it. Didn't think nothing of it. Still, she talking about the lady behind the desk. She's doing, little comments, throwing little comments here and there constantly about this lady behind the desk. People are telling me I'm still ignoring it because I'm like, if they got something to say to me, they need to say it to me. Okay. So I'm just ignoring all this. Now, not knowing they can't stand Quasi Boyd, I didn't know how much the hatred was they had for Quasi Boyd. And the fact that I was cool with Quasi, that just put me way up there, past 100 on their hate list. I was enemy number one. All right, that's what I have become. I was enemy number one. Not only was I cool with UN, but now you're cool with Quasi Boyd also? Oh no, you can't be trusted. So they decided that I could not be trusted. And do you know everybody in that repat community except for Nima Dia and Quasi Boyd, decided she can't be trusted. And oh no, I take that back. Family Exodus, she was cool with me. Um, I think that was it. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty much it. But everybody else, no, no. Other than Family Exodus and Nemadia and Quasi Boy, everybody else, no. They decided early on we were not going to have anything to do with her. She was not one of us, and we were not going to accept her into our community. Okay. And you know that when you're over there and you have this and right back then it was a lot of us over there. Like you could go to the village and it would be full of repats. I mean, just everywhere you look, you would see repats from the Caribbean, from UK, from the United States, everywhere. You know, it was just full of us. So it was like it was nice to be there with your country people. It was nice to be there with people from your ethnic group. That all was nice. So people, it kind of just made being in Africa even oh, it's just so hard to describe. To be over there with people who are Black Americans, because Black Americans have a way of communicating that other people don't know how to do. Like we can communicate without words. We can look at each other, you know, and give each other signs. We can use body language to communicate with each other, and no one else can do that. So to be over there and doing that, like me and Neodema, we did that a lot because there was things going on around us that we couldn't speak it, you know, but we could use our eyes. You know, we would use body language, different movements to let them know, to let each other know what we were thinking. So to be in that, you know, to be in Africa and to be with people who are from your ethnic group who communicate the way you communicate, that's beyond words. All right. So it was important to be a part of this repack group. It is important to be accepted in that community. And when you're not accepted, you know it. You know it because nobody will mess with you. Nobody. No matter how cool you are, no matter how nice you are, nobody will mess with you because they've decided early on you're not going to be a member of this repatriation community. Black Acres decided that about me early on. And therefore, I was never let into their community. So I was on the outside looking in, but I didn't care. You know, I didn't care because I had been to Africa before. I had studied Africa at the university. So Africa was more to me than just a place to go. You know, it was more than that. I understood Africa from an intellectual perspective. So going to Gambia was just another country for me to study. You know what I mean? It was just another country for me to visit that I had studied. So I can compare what I studied to what really goes on there because that's what I do. I sit and I'm like, okay, this is what I studied, but is this really what it's like? So it didn't matter. It didn't matter to me really. I thought it was an interesting phenomenon that Black Americans treat other Black Americans like that. And that's when I started like really paying attention to it because I was like, that's interesting. You know, that Black Americans would treat other Black Americans like money, you know, like objects. You know, like we're going to decide whether we want you in our group or whether we don't. You know, and what we can get from you, you got to make sure you're giving them something too. So that was interesting to me. That was interesting how we were. It was like piranhas feeding. That's what it was like. That's what it reminded me of. And that part was interesting. And that's when I said, I wanted to study them. I wanted to see what was going on in this community to make us do that to each other. So that's how I'm looking at all this. I'm not looking at this personal because these people ain't my friends. I don't know them from nobody. So I'm not taking it personal. I don't really care. So the last thing that happened, and that's when I had to say something, is when they made this video. Okay, y'all, time for the video. But first, I'm going to come get y'all comments. Is when they made this video. Now, I'm looking at this video. Let me give y'all the background on this video. Now, this video, by this time, we had thought we would start a repatriation, like a repatriation group. I think that's what it was. It was something to help people when they go to Africa, to Gambia, okay? Because at this time, now I'm finding out about the women. I'm finding out about the women being abused in Gambia, because at this point, I'm not knowing that women, that Black American women, Black Brits and Black Caribbeans are being beat on. I'm not knowing this. I'm not knowing that they're understanding that they're going there, getting involved with men who beat on them, because there are African men who will beat you. Mm-hmm. And guess what? Ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it. Nothing. Nobody's gonna come arrest him. Nobody's gonna make him leave. No police are coming. No restraining order. Nothing. They're gonna ask you, what did you do to cause your husband to respond like that? This is the type of society that we're going to. So these women are getting involved with these men. And you know, some of them got 2 wives. You ain't finding out about the second wife. They're not finding out about the second wife or the other relationship till later on. So this is causing, you know, a lot of confrontation, friction in the relationship. So they fight. All right, it ain't a fight because Africans are strong. So it ain't no fight. They just beat you up. So they've been getting beat up. There's no place for them to go. There's no, like here, there's no safe house. So a lot of the women, well, not a lot, but 2 women came to me and told me they were in this situation. So I brought it to the repack community and I said, we need to do something about this. Maybe we can start some kind of organization, you know, where we can have a house over there. We can rent a house over there. It can be a safe house, or we can help people or something, this, that, and the third. So this is what I'm thinking. I don't know why I thought that. I don't even know why I thought that was a good idea. So some people joined. It turned out to be a hot mess. Okay. A hot mess because people don't get along. People see you on YouTube and they have this unnatural attraction towards you, and they just want to know you and they want to know things about you. So people will pretend like they want to be my friend, but they don't really want to be my friend. They want to know about me. You know what I mean? And when they find out about me, when they think it's something juicy, they go and tell it. They go tell it to somebody else. And next thing you know, they're making a video. So I'm like, well, dang. There was somebody in the group. We had a falling out with her. She, you know, was friends with Black Acres. But, you know, she knew I wasn't getting along with them because she knew what they were saying about me. But I feel, she said she wasn't saying anything to them. She told me she wasn't going back telling anybody anything that I had talked about, that we had talked about. But I feel in my heart that she was, because of the way in the video, it's called The Ugly Distractor. The way she was engaging with Black Acres, like when somebody would come to get the conversation off of me because it was stupid, she would come back in and she would bring back up the ugly distractor, because that's what they were calling me, the ugly distractor. So, you know, and they kept saying ugly on the inside and ugly on the outside. And she just thought this was so funny. So somebody called me and said, they're talking about you again. And I said, let me look at this live video. And I'm going to show it to you. So they're on this live video. And again, this is fair use. Let me get y'all comments first. So they're on this live video. And Rick and Cynthia really think they clowning me. Because remember, this is what they do. They try to publicly shame you. That's the first step. They excommunicate you. That's the first thing. We're going to excommunicate you from this community. You're not going to be a part of this community. We're not going to let you play our reindeer games. We're not going to do any of that. All right. So after that, then comes the public shaming, the public humiliation. If you dare to raise your head after that. So I dared to raise my head after that. I dared to say something after that. And then came the public shaming. Okay. That's when I had supposedly been to prison 4 times for unspeakable crimes. It just didn't even make sense. Prison 4 times, arrested 3 times. I'm like, but if I've been to prison 4 times, shouldn't it be 4 arrests? And there was nothing to back this up. But everybody knew that I was an educator. Everybody knew that. Everybody knew I was an educator because they had seen me in my classroom. All right. So anybody with common sense would know there's no way. You could even Google it. There's no way this lady is an educator and has been to prison 4 times. If she's an educator, she ain't been to prison 0 times. Especially for the crimes they were accusing me of. Because one thing about you have to have high moral character. Okay. Now, these crimes were bad moral character. They were horrible moral character. So I'm like, come on, Rick and Cynthia, who do you expect to believe? But people were believing this. They were coming on my channel saying all kind of stupid stuff like, how many times you been in prison? Did you just get out of prison? I'm like, wait a minute. If you had common sense, you would say, wait a minute. This lady, now I have had a lot of ex-husbands. Now that's true. And I told you, I don't believe in staying with somebody who treat me bad, honey. If you treat me bad, you got to go. Period. All right. Now, one thing I do believe in is the institution of marriage. I am not going to live with no boyfriend. I'm not going to have no boyfriend for no long period of time. I'm not going to be your girlfriend. I'm just too grown for that. Okay. So either we're going to get married or we're not doing nothing, because I'm not going to be your girlfriend. I'm not sleeping with you. None of that. So I was married. And I got kids. And I got 4 college degrees. And they Rick and Cynthia know I have these college degrees. They know this. They even know that I was the first Black woman to win one of these college degrees from the not degree, but an award. I won an award from the University of Dayton. I was one of the first Black women to win that award. Rick and Cynthia know that. Because if you made up all that other stuff, if you found my real name, and I know how they got it, it was through a jealous ex. Okay. So he gives them my real name. They go on making up all kind of craziness, spreading it around the community, all kind of lies. Just all kind of lies. These people writing Ohio Department of Education, writing everybody who my employer, everybody, anybody who got contact with me. There's these people who are under Rick and Cynthia, who Rick and Cynthia sent after me. And I kid you not, they had like dogs. They would send their dogs after you. All right. And these dogs went after me. They had my information, my personal information, all on a video, which I have that video removed. All right. So they had who to write about me and what to say. And I'm like, but do y'all realize I haven't, this isn't a crime. This is my constitutional right. I have a constitutional right. It's called freedom of speech. I have freedom of speech. I'm a person. I'm an educator and I'm a person. So I have a right to speak. So they're trying to silence me. They're trying to use my employer to silence me. So they're writing everybody and they're doing, and I kid y'all not, there was a lot of them. It was a lot of them going after me at one time because of these people. Because of these people. So I'm rolling with the punches because that's all I can do. I'm rolling with the punches. We going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with each other, right? I'm finding out all this stuff about Rick and Cynthia. That's when I started going through everything I could find about them, about the money. Now, while I'm looking for the money, I'm finding out, oh, these people are into witchcraft. These people are heavily into witchcraft. And not only are they into witchcraft, y'all, but most of the repats over there were into this witchcraft. And I'm like, well, I'll be doggone. All the things you could go to Africa and do, y'all go and get involved in witchcraft. So I'm like, okay. So they done went over there and start playing with the spirit world. That's why they act in the way they are. They really think there are witches. So, witches and warlocks. So that's where I'm going to stop right here and then we're going to pick up. But first, I want to get y'all comments, okay? So they think they witches and warlocks and they thinking they can cast spell on people. They thinking they can control environments. They thinking they can control people, places, and things. So Rick and Cynthia get extremely arrogant. And this is where we go from here. Oh, thank you, Rosie. She says hello, and you look absolutely beautiful. Oh, thank you. She says hi to everybody. Hello, Lisa. How you doing, sweetie? Who was that? Hey, African goddess. How you doing? This is y'all telling me I'm not frozen. Hi, Simone. Hey, DJT. Why don't you talk about how you're loving Africa tried to steal? Oh, honey, yeah. Can you? I'm so mad about that. And why you call it my loving Africa? What is that supposed to mean? I don't get that. So, my view on that, uh, y'all know what? If we let them get that off, something is wrong with us. Okay, they can have their little artifacts. They can have whatever they took out of there, but some money? Oh, ain't no way they should be paid for selling us because they got proof that Africans participated in the slave trade. They got proof that them castles, they rented them their forts. Okay, they didn't. Them Europeans were not just living there for free. Them forts they kept us in, they paid the Africans rent. So how they gonna come? I told y'all, they using us. They playing us like a fool. They laughing in our face. And now look at the ultimate move. I wish they would. I wish they would. How you going to try to ask for something? How can you get paid for a crime that you participated in? You participated in this crime till you couldn't participate anymore, till it got out of hand. It got out of control. And that's why you wasn't playing no more. And now you coming back. First, you take all their money, the poor people who came over there to Ghana, to Gambia, to Tanzania, to wherever. You take all their money, and now you think you're going to get reparations. They ain't even gave us reparations. But you think you're about to get it? Oh, if we don't stand up for that, then something's wrong. Something's wrong. But who going to give them that? Tell me. The world knows what Africa did. The world knows. That's why they don't have no respect. That's why nobody respects them. Because if you sell your own people, who you think gonna respect them? Slavery existed in Africa before the European got there. They were selling slaves before the European got there. So tell me, how you gonna justify to anybody that you need to be paid for that? Only thing they need to be paid for that is paid no attention. That's all. So I was going to talk about that, ma'am. I just haven't got a chance to. And they're not my loving Africa. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I think that was supposed to attempted assault, an attempted insult. Hey, Courtney, how you doing? Good evening. You are early. Emma. London lady, remember the time changed. Remember our time changed here. Because remember in the spring we go forward. So it's probably an hour early, is it? Because that's what it is. You tell me that every year. And I'm like, really? How? How did that happen? London lady is saying hi. Kiki, who made the doll on the thumbnail with pins stuck in it? Who made the doll on the thumb? You think I did that? AI did that. AI did that. You like it? Or did you think I did it? I don't do that. Who made the thumbnail? AI made the thumbnail. They did. But it's true. That's what y'all know they was using witchcraft. Y'all know they was using voodoo. Y'all know they done told us to our face that they use witchcraft and that they use voodoo. Y'all know that. So don't act like this is a mystery or that this is a surprise. I did a whole series about Black Acres of the Gambia and their witchcraft and how that place is haunted. You done heard Cynthia say many a times how James hears stuff in the middle of the night and he can't sleep because he hearing stuff in the middle of the night and they hear it too. But that's what happens when you play with God. Hey, London. Okay, they saying hi. Please hit the like button, y'all. Cynthia looks crazy, like something is off and easily misled. She is. Okay, bye. I love you too. Make sure you call me. So, something is off because this is a thing about when you try to manipulate the forces around you. Cynthia and Rick were constantly doing that. We saw that for ourselves. When they had that bottle, we knew what that bottle was all about. It was a bottle they carried all the time. Can y'all see it? And they had water in it. Y'all remember that bottle? And every time he would talk to us about bag, witchcraft bag, they would have that bottle. Call themselves casting a spell on us. Y'all remember that. This is something they've been doing for quite some time, but we ignored it. I think we were truly under the spell. I think for a minute it was working. It had to be. Because why were we all so enchanted by this dysfunctional couple? Why were we all so willing to follow this dysfunctional couple? And it's clear they're dysfunctional. Why? There was nothing about Rick and Cynthia that says upstanding citizen before they left or after they left. That's why they want to keep so private, because they're criminals, in my humble opinion. Well, we know Rick is. We've seen it on UN's channel. And he's child support stuff. We know about all of that. So that's why they keep a low profile. They don't want nobody else to know what they do and what they've done. She is easily misled. Wow, the Gambian repat community seems, what does that say? Petty, narrow-minded, and very immature. They were. The people who came, and Kwesi always said this batch was just a bad batch. You know, he's a really positive type of guy. And he always said, Kiki, this batch was just a bad batch. He said, he believed in the movement. The movement is going to come back. We just got to get rid of these people. They'll leave. Kiki, this was just a bad batch of people. And it was, because Rick sent out, your energy draws people like you, if that makes sense. You draw others like you. We feed on each other. Like, I'm going to draw people like me. Like you all, our minds are alike. We think alike. That's why we spend all this time together. Like people are like, how can y'all be on there 3 hours? Well, it don't seem like 3 hours to us because we're like-minded people. So we like being together. Our spirits and our minds like to commune together. This is the same thing Rick and Cynthia do. They send out this message to like-minded people. There's a lot of people in the United States who want to leave. There's a lot of people in the United States who have criminal records that prevent them from getting jobs and housing. There's a lot of people in the United States who can't afford to pay their bills. So they want to just run away and go someplace. Well, Rick and Cynthia are giving them that option. They're telling them all you got to do is not pay your bills for 3 or 4 months, save all your money, get evicted, get your house foreclosed on, max out all your credit cards, and go to Africa. And those are the people who followed him. Those same type of people, those people who lacked, those people who scammed, those people who stole, those people who didn't have enough. Not all of them, because if you see, like I said, the family exodus, they weren't like that. Harmony and them were not like that. Miss Aretha and her husband, they were not like that. Ones we talked about last week, they weren't like that. Who were they? The couple who they said they put witchcraft on. The couple they said they broke up. I can't even remember their name, y'all. Oh, Our Journey Towards Eden. They weren't like that. But there was a group that were. There was a group that were bottom dwellers like Rick and Cynthia, that were scum like Rick and Cynthia, that were liars like Rick and Cynthia. And the repat community became filled up with those type of people. Gambia became filled up with the worst type of Black Americans there were. And I kid you not, because I was there to witness it. I saw it for myself. I reported it on YouTube to you all. These were the worst repats ever. Ever. They used every opportunity to exploit us, every opportunity to use us. And again, I'm not talking about all of them. So there's no reason for you to come on here and say, well, not this. I'm not talking about all of them. I said the ones I've talked about on this channel. If you're not sure who they are, just take a little pause, open another tab if you're on a computer, or if you're watching it on the phone, and look and see. Okay? Who are the ones she's talked about? It was petty and narrow-minded, and they were very immature. Sound has gone. Y'all can't hear me. For real, y'all? I'm sorry to say this, but unfortunately it sounds like a camp, if you know what I mean. Yes, and it was. It was a camp. It was, because the things that these repats have done, y'all, some of them are so bad that I can't even tell y'all. One of the stories are so bad and low down that I can't even tell y'all. I cannot speak that story out of my mouth because how bad it is. But I want to tell y'all so bad, because I'm like, they need to know. Because this was one of those people who was kicking people out of the community. This was one of those people who was pretending to be an upstanding citizen in this repat community. Then come to find out this person is a dog. Worse than a dog. He was worse than a dog. Rick and Cynthia were cult leaders, and it was a cult, because she would brag about how I wouldn't say it was a cult, because cults have certain. Ooh, y'all, this is about to be weird. Ooh, hold on, I gotta plug up the computer. I'm sorry, I hit my head on the thing. Cults have certain conditions. Well, first is deprivation. Rick and Cynthia can't deprive you from food, and they can't deprive you from sleep. So on that part, they don't. But the part where you have to follow them, You can't question them. You have to do everything they say. That part, yes, I would agree with that. Yes, they were very cultish. Yep. Kiki, I'm sorry you went through all that. Rick and Cynthia, Juicy Mama are trash. Yeah, it was horrible. It was bad because I had just started doing YouTube, and I didn't know people would lie on you. I didn't know people would make up things about you. I didn't know that I didn't know people would come and pretend to be other people, pretend to be something they're not. Like this Kiki Loves Nigeria, and I tell you, I'm an educator. I have a double master's. I've won this award. I was the first Black woman to win this award at this university. I've been to Africa 14, I don't even know now, 14 times. Was it 14, y'all? 14 times. I won a scholarship to do research in Africa. I worked for the government in Kumba, Cameroon. People will come and make that up. They'll make all that up. I didn't know that when I first started YouTube. I didn't know people would lie about who they are, and what they've done. I didn't know that. I did not know that. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that. And so when Rick and Cynthia sent these grown people, these were overgrown people. These people were overgrown. These were elders, supposed to be elders in our community. When they sent these elders in our community after me, it was unbelievable. It was just unbelievable. And they were doing it. Nobody stopped to question. Nobody stopped to answer. Nobody stopped to do anything. People just were believing what Rick and Cynthia were saying, and they were rolling with it. So the second time I went, that's when Rick and Cynthia started believing their own lies. Rosie is saying, hey, African Goddess, how are you? Yes, your time changes in a few hours. Yep. Hi, Kiki and everyone. Hello. No, our time went up. We moved it up. Okay. African Goddess says she's glad. Okay. I was never enchanted by Bag. London Lady says, I just watched them because I wanted to see how long such a low type could survive there. See? When I heard them telling people to max out their credit cards, I thought red flag. And that's what I mean. Those were the low people. They were coming. They were telling you if you had an SSI check, you could come there. If you had a Social Security check, you could come there. They were appealing to the people in our community that you didn't want to come there. You didn't want these people. But they were Rick and Cynthia's type of crowd. You see what I mean? So they were coming. Because a lot of the Pan-Africans be like that. I ain't lying, y'all. They be messed up. That's why I don't be dealing with them like that. Let me put these glasses on. I don't know why I keep thinking I can see these little letters without it. Yeah, they were the worst representation of the United States. And that's the thing about it. We don't realize, and we have to understand, when we go over there to these countries, we represent our country. We represent our ethnic group, whether we believe it or not, whether we think it's fair or unfair, it's the truth. When I go over there, I represent Black women, all right? Black American women. So that's how they're looking. They're not looking on like, that's Kiki. No, she's a Black American. That's all they see. Black American. No, they think Black British. They think, oh, she's a Black British lady. That's all they see. They don't even know I'm not a British lady. They think I'm a Black British lady because they're going by what they see. They see me. They see I walk. They don't listen to the way I talk, because if you listen to the way I talk, you would know she's not a British lady. But what they see, they're not going to take the time to break us down in little groups. They're going to judge us by what they see. And what they see looks like a Black British lady to them. So what do they label me? A Black British lady. So you see why you're important. Your behavior, the way you carry yourself is so important. It is so important. Because they're not going to give you there's no do-overs. There's no second chances. It's no, I can explain to you who I am and what I am. They don't care about that. They're going to judge you by what they see. That's why first impressions are so very important. How you carry yourself in Africa is so very important. Yeah, maxed out credit cards was irresponsible. Yeah, I didn't care for them either. Who was that? Oh, and our teacher says, why you didn't like them? We can hear you. Okay, Rosie says, 10 years later, have they finished building the house yet? We don't know. They don't show us the house, Justine. They don't show us the house. We don't know. They showed some of it on a little bit of it, but the house is falling apart. They didn't build that house right. That house was not built right, and that house is falling apart. That house will be on the ground soon. It's going to crumble and just eventually just fall. And I hope Rick and Cynthia and those kids are not in their house when that happens. But that house is not going to, it can't stand because of what they built, how they built it, and what they built it on. I still think London Lady says they had something to do with the robbery at the arrivals. Well, UN thinks so also. He feels like they had something to do with it just because of their background. Please hit the like button. We have 107 and oh, come on, y'all. We can do better than that. We have only 40 likes. Hit the like button, please, and thank you. And subscribe to the channel. Thank you. And join us every Saturday if you can. All right. African Goddess says, yeah, I think it's up. I think it is up and finished, but if I had a lot of problems cracking, it is bad. It's I took some images, and we're going to get to that, and I put them in AI. Okay, and if you didn't know that, AI will analyze your images and tell you what's wrong. You can ask them questions about the images. So I took some images from videos, and AI analyzed the images. And they were telling me different things about the foundation of that house and the quality of that house. That house is not, we're going to talk about that in a few minutes, but that house is not going to make it. London Lady, we are right. Warning folks. Okay, our time, UK goes forward at, oh yeah, so then we'll be on the right time. Y'all go forward. We did too. Okay, so y'all doing the same thing we did. The nickname he called his wife to me is a bit disrespectful. That's very disrespectful for public use. Yes, I would not say that, but he didn't care. So now, at that time, let me back up. There was this man. So remember, they were upset with me. We're talking about tonight, did the witchcraft backfire? Okay, because Rick and Cynthia were heavily into witchcraft. And so we're talking about tonight, did it backfire? Did it backfire? Because they called themselves putting a spell on me. But I told them, I made a video when I found that out, and I told them that spell is gonna backfire on them. And we're gonna look at it, you tell me what you think. Do you think their spell worked? Or did it backfire on them? Because that's what happens. That's what happens to you. So I want to show y'all this quick snippet from this video, because some of y'all might not know that they use witchcraft. Some of y'all might not know that Rick actually dressed up like a warlock one time, and he made a video. Hold on, let me show y'all. All right, so this is our first video for tonight, and this is what I want to show y'all. And if you don't think this man is involved in witchcraft, tell me, why would he dress up like this? If he's not involved, why would he present himself like he is involved? All right, so let me get what this video is about real quick. Oh, hold on. I got to shrink it down to see what it's
okay, about. I guess maybe, I don't know.
Maybe it could be.
So let's see what this one is about. Let me get a summary of it real quick.
Transferred in the mail system.
Maybe so. So I really don't know why they stopped it.
So this is when they used to do their little lives. Remember, this is fair use. This is when they used to do their little live sessions. Okay. So in this video, it used to be weekly. They're discussing how to leave the and that was another thing. They used to tell you how to leave the United States. Okay. And just they're talking about their quality of life, the culture there, business opportunities. And that's it. But I want y'all, I'm going to play just a little bit of the video. And I just want you to see why. And I want you to tell me, why is this man dressed like this?
I don't know about visas in Kenya. Someone said Purple Fashion. We
So
can
they
get
used to give
visas
information
on
about
entry
that.
in Kenya. Is that visas for Kenya or visa for Gambia?
Okay, now, right here. The speaker mentions a spell for bag empowerment. Every time the word bag is heard, whether it's on a grocery bag, shopping bag, or a bag lady. Now, did you understand what I just said? They called themselves casting a spell on us. That every time we heard the word bag, we would think about them. We would give them their money, our money. So let me play this for you so you'll know.
Every time you hear the word bag, whether it's a grocery bag or a bag lady or a jewel shopping bag, there's a spell that's being cast, Black empowerment.
Dennis
So
Bates.
again-
Thank you. Thank you, Dennis.
So again, every time you hear the word bag, I've cast a spell on the world for Black empowerment. So bag, bag, bag.
Add a moderator.
And y'all think that's normal? Y'all think that's normal what he did? Or y'all think, oh, that's just a Black empowerment? No, sweetie. This man called himself casting a spell on you. All right? Black empowerment is not bag, bag, bag. That's them. This was for them. So where was that at? Let's go back to that. I think it was 1634. Let me put it back in here. So this is when I saw this part. I'm like, oh, they don't even care. They don't even care that we know that they are into witchcraft. They are open with it and bold with it. Here you go, one more time.
Every time you hear the word bag, whether it's a grocery bag or a bag lady or a jewel shopping bag, there's a spell that's being cast, Black empowerment.
Dennis
So
Bates.
again-
Thank you. Thank you, Dennis.
So again, every time you hear the word bag, I've cast a spell on the world for Black empowerment. So bag, bag, bag.
Told y'all.
What's a moderator? I don't know.
Wait a minute. London lady, look, I can't see the, I don't know why what y'all saying in the chat, I'm not seeing this. Let me go back over here and see what y'all got to say about this. I'm going to start from the bottom and go up because I want to hear this. What y'all got to say about this? This is when I knew they didn't care that we knew about them doing witchcraft. They didn't care about any of that. Let me see what happens if I do this. They didn't care about any of that. All right. They didn't care. They believed in this witchcraft they were doing and they were going to do it. And they were using it on us. And who else was using it on us? Yes. So they saw, oh, this is working. Oh, your screen has frozen, but we can still hear you. That's what happened last time. Is the screen still frozen now? Yeah. Let me go down here. Okay, I'm going to the bottom and come back up. Y'all tell me if it's still frozen. That's what happened last time. I'm going to have to complain to these people again. Got on his hooded black robe, tossing them spells out there, Simeon says, yes. Your screen is frozen. ES is the other shyster. ES is in Ghana. Yep. There is some rituals that you need to cover your head for. So that's probably what he was doing. Okay. So that was the first thing. Y'all tell me if it get frozen again. They gang up to contact your employer. Also backfire. Congrats to the on your promotion, you see. Yeah, because you're right. Ever since then, They contacted them, and I got nothing but promotions. You're right. Even now, I'm transitioning, like I'm upgrading my license so I can work with kids with special needs, you know. So, and that's a big upgrade, you know. So the fact that I can do that, you know, what happened to the spell you put on me? You know what I mean? What happened to the spell you put on me? You call yourself cursing me. And all God has been doing is blessing me ever since then, blessing me. We all see it. How about the trash bag? Uh, London lady. Okay. Now, where he get his power from? Well, he says he gets his power. They don't believe in God. So I'm not sure where they get power from. But they do not believe in God. Okay. They tell us that all the time. And I did not understand how these older people from the US were following somebody who didn't believe in God. Because US older people, they be big Christians, you know, and them, that to me was just crazy. When they knew they knew these people were not Christians. They knew Black Acres were they knew they were Satan worshipers because they told us they were. They bragged about it. So let me get these comments and then I'm gonna get back on here. Hey, Mr. Dorcas, he says it sounds like they're psychologically programming their viewers, which they probably were. Because Rick thinks he's this psychologist. Forget Dennis. It's Norman. Norman, you silly. Norman Bates. Yeah. He is a fool, ridiculous. Yeah, he is. Through it. Yeah. WTH has Rick, what the WTF with has Rick got on his head? He is cross playing a Tibetan. No, honey. He is cross playing the devil. Hello, Miss Dara. Okay, better now. Okay, good. All right. Okay, good. Okay, now look, y'all. Now, this is when they come out and just let us know. They don't care. They letting us know. This is what they doing. Because by this time, Rick and Cynthia are getting lots of money. They're getting so much money. I couldn't even count how much it was. You know, normally people, they let you know, we got this much from the raffle or we got this much from the, no. They refuse to tell us how much money they made. There are all types of welfare mindset people. Ghana is trying to prevent them from coming with their citizenship screening process. Developing countries are for developers, not schemers. Maddie, but how are they going to tell that? Because how are they going to tell that? They tell by what? What are they going to ask them? Did you go to high school? Yeah, most of us go to high school. Did you go to college? That's not going to be a prerequisite. What's going to be a prerequisite? How are they going to know if these are bottom dwellers? You can't tell a bottom dweller by interviewing them. It takes a lot, unless you're one of us. Now, if you're one of us, you can tell. But the Ghanaian people who interview them, they're not going to be able to tell bottom dwellers. They're not. You just can't tell like that. Just like the video we watched last week when the boy was talking about Super Shorty. When the Nana dude was talking, he ain't a boy, I'm sorry. The man Nana was talking about Super Shorty. Oh, O'Shea. Oh, O'Shea. How you doing, sweetie? A lot of them are scheming it up. Yep, they are. By the way, your hair and makeup is on point. You look, oh, thank you, O'Shea. You're so sweet. You're a sweet guy. I love you, O'Shea. Because that's true. But yeah, he's right. Okay, he's right. And they're scheming it up, and they keep on scheming it up because this is how they live. This is how they make money. This is how they support themselves. This is what y'all got to understand. Bab needed to do this because this is how the man supported himself and his family. All right. So now let's go. Thank you. Now we're going to go and we're going to look at when what started everything. So there was this man I told y'all named Elvin from Elvin's B&B, right? So this is how fake they are. Let me show y'all what they were saying. The first thing they did about Elvin's, they were promoting this man's business. Elvin had a really nice B&B. Remember I told y'all that. Sure. It'll be fun. Okay, hold on, y'all. Okay. So, all right. This man, they were promoting this man's business. All right. This Mr. Elvin. Oh, y'all can't see this. Okay. Hold on. Let me stop showing this one. Now, Mr. Elvin was the man who, this is when it all blew up. Okay. So, Bag was doing commercials. They let you do commercials on their what am I trying to say? On their channel. They let you do commercials on their channel. So it's like a paid promotion. So Elvis B&B was one of the ones that they were promoting. This is Mr. Elvin. Okay. He had a B&B, bed and breakfast. It was very nice. Mr. Elvin, unbeknownst to Bag, to Black Acres of the Gambia, Mr. Elvin, now part of Quasi Boyd's program, Invest, Relocate Africa, was he did a mentorship program. Now, this mentorship program is that he would mentor you in a business. He would be your mentor for your business. Whatever you came there with a business idea, Quasi would mentor you and help you get this idea off the ground. Well, Mr. Elvin wanted to do a B&B, okay, an Airbnb. So after Phoenix blew the company up, Mr. Elvin was already there before Phoenix got there. He stayed. Okay. He stayed. He continued his business relationship with Quasi Boy. All right. But on the front of the business, now remember, Quasi is just the business mentor. He's like the developer. Okay. It's not his business. You pay him to develop the business. Okay. So he's helping Mr. Elvin develop this business. So Mr. Elvin gets this ideal to promote on Black Acres of the Gambia. All right. So he promotes on Black Acres of the Gambia. But remember, they don't know Quasi Boy is his business developer and his mentor. What that has to do with anything, I don't know. But that was extremely important to Black Acres of the Gambia because after they found out, they went on to label this man as a scammer. Okay, so let's check this video out real quick. I'm going to play just a little bit just so you can see kind of what happened.
That's fine.
Yeah, well, my name is Elvin, and this is Elvis B&B, and we're bed and breakfast place. And, we do short-term rentals and sometimes even long-term.
So, like, say, if someone coming from the States or they're in the States already and they want to contact you to find out how they get here, how will they go about doing that?
Oh, we have a website.
Okay,
website.
exactly. You can tell them about your website.
That's Elvis B&B.
Did you say Elvin?
Yeah, Elvin. Yeah, ELVIN.
Okay.
Oh, I thought he said Elvis.
I thought you said Elvis too, but Elvin.
Okay, yeah.
Elvin B&B.
Right.
Okay. And the name of the website?
Yeah, it's www.com.
Okay. ElvinB&B, www.com.
And they can also apply once before they even hit here.
Oh, yeah.
And then, set up something. That is great then.
Okay, gotcha.
So we have a lot of customers that come to booking.com.
Booking.com.
At least I would say about at least 80% of the
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
So is it best to go through booking.com or your website? Either way.
Yeah, either way. Yeah,
Okay, that's good, guys.
They've been finding us.
So can you explain a little bit about the facility? Because believe it or not, I'm new to this Airbnb thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So how does that work?
Yeah, well, basically just make your booking and
Hello, how are you, ma'am?
have some water here. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
It's a hot day.
Thank you, madam.
Yeah, thank you.
So this is your staff too, right?
Yes. Of course.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so they pretty much just make your booking, like booking.com is a website, and we have this is like a 6-bedroom compound, so
Six
Six
bedrooms.
bedroom.
Mhm.
Wow.
pretty good size.
Do you have
Yeah, it was a house. Let me go down some more and see if they're gonna show the house. But it was a house. It was a really nice house, and the repacks, some of them would come and stay here.
And this does good as far as keeping mosquitoes out, or you don't have problems with mosquitoes?
Well, not that bad. We got some mint trees or mint flowers we try to
Yeah.
put around to keep the mosquitoes away.
And I kind of smell them too.
Right. Then if that don't work, we got our spray.
There you go. There you go. I know.
Let's look at some more.
We have all this fruit around, but they still import all the juice.
Wow. That's how brother gonna try to roll. Once we get up out there and set up, buy these machines from the Chinese.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Man, maybe you can sell me some of your fruits and stuff.
So you see, they were supporting him. They were kicking it with him. They were pretty much supporting him.
Thank you so much,
Hey,
bro.
a chance to come out there and visit us at the land, man.
Absolutely.
Much love. Much love.
Thank
Thank you, sir.
Right.
He'll be out there.
He said he's gonna be out there.
Oh yeah.
I talked to y'all on the last live y'all did.
Uh-huh.
I was like, man, thank y'all for getting on. And I told you I was on my way. So
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Saeed just called me too.
Okay, got you there, brother.
So this is him. All right, this is the B&B. This is the bed and breakfast that he was running. All right, Black Acres, like I said, Black Acres had no problem with him. They went on and they promoted this man. They did a great job. You know, this video would play before he would do any. Am I frozen again, y'all? It looks like I'm frozen again. Am I frozen again? Let me know if I'm frozen again. Oh yeah, you know what? That's what I said. I said, no, I'm going to do this because y'all got to take 2. And it wasn't even a lot they wanted me to do. They just wanted me to take 2 tests about reading, teaching kids how to read, and one with special needs, kids with special needs. And a lot of it I already know because I do it every day. So, and I know there's a need for that because y'all would not believe how many kids have who are autistic now. You would not believe how many kids have intellectual disabilities now. You would not believe how many kids are hyperactive now. Hyperactive disorder, activity disorder, hypertension, whatever it's called. You know what I'm talking about. That one. Then there's another one, oppositional defiance disorder. It's so many that these little kids, and I want to work with little kids like K through 2, because I feel like if you get that, if you help them when they're that little, get it under control, learn how to understand it, then they can be okay, because they got to be okay, y'all. What are we going to do with them? And it's a lot of kids like that now. So I just feel like, I can do this. I can study because I've got several college degrees, so I know how to study. And I can study, I can pass this test, and I can go and help these kids. I can help these kids because they need help. It's not enough teachers now. People don't want to do this no more. Yes. Okay, thank you, Jam Jars. Why are people going to Africa and scamming their own people? Okay, this is what I found out, Mr. Brown, from my research. They're forced to do this because, well, I wouldn't say they're forced. They choose to do this because they don't understand the realities of Africa. Like, they think they're going to be this money we have looks like a lot of money until you get there and you start living off this money, and then it doesn't last. And then you think, oh, I can just get a job and I can make some money. But no, this is Africa. You can't get a job. And if you do get a job, it's not paying you dollars. So it's like their backs are against the wall. Most people would just come back home, make a little money, get a little job, make a little money, and then go back. But some people, they refuse to do that, and they rather scam us. And that's what goes on. All right, now, so after that, I'm going to tell you how they found out. There was a woman who liked Mr. Elvin. And I ain't lying, y'all. I wish I was making this story up. There was a woman who liked Mr. Elvin. Okay? This woman liked Mr. Elvin. She was a black woman. She was a part of the business mentorship program also, her and her son. They came here from the States. They were working with Mr. Elvin. Okay. So the black lady liked Mr. Elvin. She became the woman, the mom, she became attracted to Mr. Elvin. Well, Mr. Elvin was not attracted to her. He was engaged to marry this young Ghanaian lady. So the older black lady, when she found that out, she became really upset. So she started causing trouble around there. She started throwing people's food away. She started doing things to people. Mr. Elvin felt like she was trying to use witchcraft on them because remember, these Black Americans who are coming here, they're following this lead of Rick and Cynthia of getting involved in this witchcraft. Okay. So she's involved in this witchcraft also. So Mr. Elvin catches her doing all these little spells, trying to do spells on the patio and all this. So he tells her, no, ma'am, I'm sorry, but you got to go. You just got to go. This ain't working out with you. So she goes to Rick and Cynthia. She tells Rick and Cynthia that, because she knows, everybody in Gambia knows Rick and Cynthia cannot stand Crazy Boy. They know that. They know all you got to do is mention his name and they're going to lose their mind. So she goes to Rick and Cynthia. She tells Rick and Cynthia that Mr. Elvin is not really the owner of Elvin's Airbnb. That Crazy Boy is really the owner of Elvin's Airbnb. And that Crazy Boy's name is on the lease for the property, not Mr. Elvin's. Well, y'all know when Rick and Cynthia find that out, they lose their mind. Now remember, Mr. Elvin came as a part of Invest Relocate Africa. That was Crazy Boy's part of his mission. His business was to be the business developer. So this was just him continuing to do what he does. This is not a scam. This is not a secret. This is just how the business goes. So she tells them that. So then next thing you know, Rick and Cynthia are making this video about Mr. Elvin.
Okay, they got about brothers and sisters in the diaspora that are coming here. We're concerned for your safety.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you've been with our channel for any period of time, we advertise occasionally for people that want to advertise on our channel.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're back, guys. Had to clear a couple of people off the internet and stuff.
Girls.
Yep, that's how it is. But how you doing, Andrea Freak?
Hello, Kimberly George, Papa Cheesy in the house.
Wow,
Thank you.
Africa was on there.
So we'll read that screen. But anyway, guys, some unfortunate news that just happened recently was, you want to talk about it, sweet mama?
Yes, you go ahead.
Okay, well, we had to part company with a African diaspora who's been here for some time, and they advertised on our channel, but
it was brought to our attention that there's some scamming going on.
It's brought to our attention another scammer or scamming.
Hello, JD Orca.
Hey, what's happening, brother? Thank you. But the word came to us that a business that was advertising on our channel wasn't on the up and up. And so we had to act accordingly. And sweet mom, you want to talk a little bit more about it because the person contacted you more directly.
Yeah, they called me up and told me that there was some scamming going on with this particular person.
But if you notice, they're never going to tell you what the scamming was. The scamming in her mind was because Elvin didn't tell her that Crazy Boy is my business manager. Now, when you go to places and when you're doing business, you don't tell people X, Y, and Z is my business manager. Why does that matter? Or Crazy Boy's name is on my lease. Because I'm new here, I don't know how to get a lease here. Quasi's been here for a while. He can help me get a lease. These are not questions these are not things that people just like come in conversations when you're asking somebody to market your company. So I don't know what the scamming allegations were.
I don't know if we should, well,
Yeah,
we have to mention names
Mm-hmm.
because they do advertise on, well, they have been advertising on our channel. It's B&B,
Elvin's
Elvin's
B&B.
B&B, whatever you call it, Airbnb. I'm sorry, guys.
Right.
And they have been closed down.
Yes, they've been
There's
closed
no
down.
longer open. And it was to my attention that he and someone else, I don't know if we should mention the other guy.
Go ahead. He's
okay,
out there.
you guys know him by Quasi or whatever.
Boy.
But they told us they're in court right now. The house is cleared out. I even have videos of everything. So we will not use them any longer.
And which was unfair. She didn't tell you what they were in court for. They were in court because the man who owned the house, they were having problems with the man who owned the house. She presented it like they were scamming and the man is suing them in court. And that was a complete lie. That was a complete lie. They were suing them because Elvin paid this man some money for a deposit, and the man said he didn't. And then he came back trying to get the money again. But did Black Acres tell you that? No. They presented this like this man was scamming, this man was lying, and this man was cheating, and that was a complete lie. That was a complete lie. They're in court now. Yeah, they were in court. Yes, it was closed down because Elvin was not giving the man any more money until this case was worked out. But they didn't tell you that part. They left that part out.
Guys, so if you're wanting to look for him, because you did see it on one of our videos, he's no longer open.
Right, associated with us now.
And they do not associate with us. They just was you putting their ad on our channel.
Right. And
so we just letting everybody know if they choose to call up and they get someone and they say they booking them, but they're not here in the Gambia as Elvin's B&B anymore.
Right. So if you're looking at our previous videos, I think he ran ads with us about 4 or 5 times. So if you see a past video where we've advertised Elvin Airbnb,
I can't believe that. I couldn't believe
we're going to say shy away from that and stuff. Because again, I
couldn't believe this when I saw this video. Okay, this video was done right before no, not this one. I think this was done a couple days before I left. Okay, so by this time, Quasi had contacted me. All right, he was like, Kiki, we need to come on your show and we need to get to tell our side of the story because Black Acres is not telling the whole truth. They're making it seem like we were scamming and we weren't doing anything. The man, he said, only thing I did, I'm the man's business manager. And that's what they had a problem with. Then he told me the court case. Of course, y'all know Quasi keeps every document. So he sends me the copy of the court case. He sends me what's going on. So then we do our show. Okay. So after Black Acres does this.
Has disqualified himself. And he's right now involved in the court system.
Yes.
Listen.
Because of fraudulent activities. Now, when we first...
Not fraudulent activity, but not for them. Quasi and Elvin were not in court because they were accused of fraudulent activity. They were in court because they had accused the man of fraudulent activity. But why didn't they tell you that? Why didn't they tell you that part?
Went to meet with the individual. He told us, yeah, I own this place. If you go back and watch those videos, he said he owned it and he was getting ready to open another one. And so some people kind of told us, like I tell everybody.
The lady, the lady is telling him all of this. The lady who liked Elvin, who got mad because he was marrying this young lady. She was doing all kind of witchcraft to make the relationship fall apart. It didn't work. So then she goes to Black Acres and feed them this story. And their hate for Quasi, they just ate it all up.
You know,
we were getting information
yeah,
that
we were getting information.
that it wasn't his,
Mhm.
and that he was with the person that he said he was in partners
Which
with.
was Quincy Boyd.
But
Oh,
now,
Quincy
you know,
Boyd.
everybody has been telling. A lot of people didn't want to tell us. They just were saying, "Be careful." And
Mhm.
so
Be
now,
careful. What
this
is there to be
individual
careful?
did call.
What is there to be careful of? You see what I mean? What is there to be careful of? This right here is what Black Acres is good at. They try to destroy people's reputation. And they want, not only are they going to try to destroy it, they're going to keep on. Every opportunity they get, they're going to defame your character. Every single opportunity they get, they're going to do it, and their followers, they're flying monkeys. That's what they are. They're flying monkeys. They send their flying monkeys out, and they do it also.
Me up Friday and explained to me. He sent me videos where the place was cleared out,
Mm-hmm.
and they were scammed $2 out of $1,500.
Right.
So I'm sorry to tell you guys, but we're no longer associated with them.
Right. And again, he told us I wasn't associated with another guy who had a shady reputation.
Mm-hmm.
So he lied to us in the origin and said, "Hey, no, I'm not associated with."
Now, Rick just sat here and said he lied to us and told us he wasn't associated with the guy with a shady reputation. Now, what did we see last week about Rick 2 weeks ago? Isn't this the same man that lost his child to the system for neglect? Isn't this the same man that the courts in Tennessee wanted to go after, not only for neglect, but for essaying his own daughter? And this so-called woman sitting next to him, this so-called mother sitting next to him, refused to help the courts in Tennessee go after this man for essaying her own daughter. Now, this man, this person who's accused of that has the nerve to pass judgment on somebody else's character. You see what happens when they get on YouTube? They start believing their lies. They start believing there's something they're not. These two believe they're gatekeepers. They believe they're calling the shots in the Gambia. They believe that they decide who lives and who dies in the Gambia. They believe that.
This guy, I'm the complete owner. Comes out, he turns out.
Now, why would somebody even ask, are you the complete owner? A lot of companies, you're not the complete owner. So why would you ask that? We know that's a lie. So this is what happened. After that, Quasi and them come to me because they have no way of getting this story out, right? So I'm on my way to Africa, to Gambia. So I was like, okay, once he told me what happened, I said, okay, we can do this live real quick, right? So I get on here. Let me close these. So I get on here. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I get on here and I do the live. So let me show y'all. Well, let me get y'all comments. And then I'm going to go and show y'all what I said. Because after he came to me with it, I said, well, let me let him come on here and tell his side of the story. Because I always tell y'all, this is y'all channel. This is our channel. This channel was not about me. This channel was about the community. All right, so this is a video I did. This is the rebuttal. They wanted to rebuttal what they said, and I let them do that. All right, so let me come over here and get these comments real quick. Wow, because we've been on here an hour and 24 minutes already. Why are people going to Africa? And okay, we already seen that one. Oh, let me go down here again. I'm gonna start from the bottom up. Rick and Cynthia have the goal to talk about a shady reputation. If that is the case, how can they look at their own reflection in the mirror? Honey, that's what I want to know. And remember, you ended a video about him shoplifting? Shoplifting. And you want to talk about Crazy Boyd? Shoplifting? Are you kidding me? And I don't know why they can't stand that man. They cannot stand Crazy. Sad his own daughter. Yeah. His Crafto Walk, where you been? You know, we've been looking for you. We missed you. Don't stay gone like that. We were worried about you. Yeah, we were really worried about you. I'm glad you're back. Are you okay? Sad his own daughter, shaking my head. That explains why some of his kids don't mess with them. Exactly. Exactly. That explains why he got a whole bunch of kids here who don't even go visit him. Something happened. Because for the state to step in, the state got to have evidence. They can't just come and take your kid, no matter what people tell you. They got to have evidence. They got to go to a court and show it to a judge. So I know this. I know what they're saying. I'm not saying it's true. Honey, the court in Tennessee is saying it's true. The state of Tennessee is saying it's true. I'm not saying nothing. This is not alleged. The essay is alleged, but the neglect is not alleged. That is not alleged. That has been proven in a court of law in Tennessee. Rick is paying the state of Tennessee child support for taking care of his child. You don't believe me? Go look through my channel, the last video about that. It's all on there. So how are you going to cut off business and then defame Mr. Elvin's name because a woman comes to you with a story? They took her $1,500. What do you mean they took? Did you invest the $1,500? And Phoenix blew it apart? And a lot of those people, most of those people got their money back. Exactly. And Ghana runs background checks for people applying for citizenship. They should do that. But even a background check, that's a good start. But a background check won't reveal everything. That's why you have people inside of schools who you find out later on are molesters. You know? Because if this was in the background, they would know. They don't find out until they're around the kids, till they're in that situation. So sometimes you can't find out about the character until that person is put in that situation. And then you see, oh, you are corrupt. You are corrupt. And when you get the opportunity to be corrupt, you're going to be corrupt. Welcome aboard. That name sounds so familiar. Michael, is it Michael or Michelle Levy? I remember Kiki pulled up on something. Honey, I was just about to show that. Because after this, that is a good segue into this. So then I do this video. All right.
Going on, correct? If I'm wrong, correct me. So I'm listening, but I'm still trying to figure out what type of scam is going on.
Right.
So remember, I'm watching this in the morning. Okay, I'm watching this in the morning. I'm watching this, early this morning. So fear mongers putting fear in the heart of people. I got to get out the United States.
That's what they do.
Because they're gonna be in World War II.
No.
And I'm not gonna have gas, and I'm gonna be on lockdown. Because that's what they told everybody. 54 minutes and 13 seconds into the video. And I live in the United States. This person told me that in the email. So it sounds like this is the happy companion, to be quite frank. To be frank with you, the same thing with our family.
Okay, hold on. Let me explain that. I got to do a show on him. Okay, let me explain to y'all about the happy companion. All right. I believe in my heart this was a happy companion writing me. All right. It was a guy, because 2 ladies wrote and told me it was him. Him and Eric from Soul Food Joint. All right. They were writing me about things that were going on over there. They were basically telling on all the repasts. So I was doing stories about it as it came in, but some of the stories were too outlandish and I wouldn't do it. And one of the stories that came in, he was talking about, I'm not going to say his name, one of the men over there. They were going at it, right? They were going at it. And some lady wrote me and told me it was the Happy Companion and Eric from the Soul Food Joint who was sending me these letters. Okay. So that's the part. That's why I'm talking about the Happy Companion.
We said that this person was telling them. It sounds exactly what was in the email that the Happy Companion told me.
Yeah.
That this Elvis B&B was really your place. Okay. You were the owner of it, not the Elvin man. I don't know his real name. The Elvin guy. He was not the owner, but you were. Okay. They said some other things that they put out there as rumors, but I didn't repeat those things. And I'm not going to repeat those things because I don't have any facts to repeat those things.
Right.
All right. So that's why I thought I couldn't believe that the Bad family just came out and just basically like destroyed this man's name.
Yeah.
Destroyed this man's reputation.
Sure did.
And then just threw you in the middle of it. And there was no evidence that you even own it. I've seen the documents, y'all. I've seen the lease. I've seen the court papers. Crazy Boy's name is nowhere on the paper.
Well. Let me start off by saying this, right? I think right now there's a push for the Gambian authorities and the Gambian government to investigate the activities of diaspora who are in the country, bringing about, instability in the country through petty bickering, exploitation of the land, exploitation of the Gambian people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a sad day that we have to, instead of playing a positive role on the continent and building together as a community, we have to go back and forth with the police, have to go back and forth with the court, many hundreds and hundreds of hours of videos that just depict us in the worst light. And then you have people who have YouTube channels. I always start with Juliet because somebody made a post.
He can't stand Juliet.
And then 2 months later, the owner comes out of nowhere because we never seen the owner. It's just the guy we're dealing with. He the agent.
So he telling you what happened with the money, where she's saying there was a court case. This is the court case.
Got the key. The owner come around and say, hey, he never got the $3,000.
Okay.
Because Elvin's there, so we, me and the team, the team handles everything. I'm just in the background. I'll never deal with anything. You understand what I mean? I'm just there and orchestrating, making certain things happen. Right. But I try not to deal with the Gambian brothers because they have a different way of doing business, and so I let them deal with them.
Okay.
Me and Elvin, I try to keep us away from dealing with, because they'll charge you more. So, one of my wives or, one of the girls that's working for me usually go out and they take care of all of that stuff for us. However, this guy comes around and tell Elvin he didn't get the money.
Okay.
Contact the guy. He took the money and he spent the money. We end up going to court. Like I said, I was just there. There was Elvin and one of the young ladies that work with the organization was going back and forth to court. And I would go sometime because, they can be very unfair in the system, so, 2 or 3 of us have to go and, just to make sure that we don't get overlooked or they start speaking a different language and then we don't know what's going on. So any case, they made us pay all the money, $3,000. The $3,000 we had to pay. Elvin had to pay $6,000. It was a place that Elvin found. He had to pay $6,000. So we paid the guy $3,000. He took all of that.
Okay.
All of that was going maybe about $600. About $600. So we had to pay additional 2,400 on top of what Elvin had to pay initially.
So this is why they're in court. Did Cynthia tell us any of that? No. She said it was a big scam. Where was the scam? They were accused of scamming somebody. No, it was the agent who took the money and didn't give it to the landlord guy, the guy who owned the house. But did Cynthia tell us any of that? No, she didn't tell us any of that. So I'm just thinking I'm just making a video. I'm thinking I'm just giving these people, giving Quasi an opportunity to talk. Mr. Elvin don't have no YouTube channel. So I'm just giving Mr. Elvin a chance to go on the YouTube channel, right? And tell his side of the story. Lord, I did not know that I had just waged a war with these people, okay? Because when I got to the Gambia, no, right after that, they made this video. Hold on. After that, they made another video. And I was just like shocked. Now, remember, the whole time, I'm not responding to them. I'm not thinking about them. Well, I am. My feelings are hurt, honestly. Because remember, I liked Rick and Cynthia. So my feelings was hurt because I couldn't understand what I had done to them for them to do this to me. So I was constantly being told what they were doing and that they had come out with this. Is this the one? Yeah. I was constantly being told they were coming out, that they were saying things about me. Okay. And I didn't believe it. So after I had made that video about Mr. Elvin, I gave them a chance to come on there. They went clean off and they made this video. Okay. So let's check this out. Hold on. Let me make sure y'all can see it. 1 second. All right. I'm going to stop this one. Let me put this one up here. Now this, I remember, I'm still in the United States. I'm still, just doing my thing, not realizing how evil these people, well, at this point, I am realizing how evil these people are. Because at this point, they have called my employer. They have called the state of Ohio. They have called everybody they can call on me, honey. Everybody they can call on me, they call them. All right, so, but I'm just like doing my thing. I'm still just doing me, right? Hold on. Why isn't this video playing? Let me go back over here. Are we frozen, y'all? Are we frozen, y'all? No, it don't look like it. So why ain't this video playing? So why isn't this one playing? What's wrong? So we go to the Gambia. After I make that video, let me close out some of these videos. Maybe that's the problem. After I make that video, right, it's time for me to go to Africa. So I'm like, okay, let me get my stuff together. Hold on, y'all. It seems like something's wrong here because I can't get this video to play. And I'm trying to think I'm frozen. I really do. Am I frozen? I think I am frozen. Yeah, I think I am. Let me go back over here. Hey, somebody tell me if I'm frozen. Kiki, they think they run things there. They do. Yeah, they think they run things there. Kiki, I think they run things there. Let me go back down here. It was just your higher, brighter self blinding them. Oh my God. Yes, they called my employer. I didn't. Yeah, not honey. Not only did they call the employer, they called the state. Can y'all see me? Am I frozen? No, honey. They called the state. They called the state on me. Okay, and guess what they were saying, y'all? She's making videos about us. That was the complaint. They were like, she's making videos about you. Well, we can't control who she makes videos. I couldn't believe it. She's making the complaint was she's making videos about me. All right, good. Okay, so what is wrong with this video? So let me stop sharing it. So they make this video. Let me go off of here and go back to that. Maybe it's that video. So they making videos. They calling people. They getting their little Black Acres crews all riled up. You know, they little flying monkeys is all riled up. Everybody's just all riled up. So by this time, they know I'm on my way to the Gambia, right? Which was crazy. I just couldn't believe all this was going on. But they know I'm on my way to the Gambia. So I think this video was made. No, this ain't the right one. This video was made when I was flying there. All right. I was in the air when they made this video. Let me see if I can get it to play. Okay, hold on. So this video was I was in the air, but I was still getting messages. Kiki, they are on here talking about you, something awful. And I'm like, who? And they like Black Acres. So this one, let me show y'all this one. This one I had to respond to. Hold on. This one is when they call themselves putting a curse on me.
Of choice. Thank you.
In a good way. We know what you mean, brother.
Ricardo Holloway says Philly in the house. This thing.
Right. Sure could use a Philly steak and cheese right about now.
No juju is casting spell. Voodoo is a way of life.
Oh, okay. Got you then.
See?
I don't know. I think juju protects you.
Yeah, juju's not casting
At
a
least
spell.
that's what they say here.
They don't even know.
It's more of a, I don't know. Maybe it's different for whatever you have it for, but certain ones I know is to protect you from the evilness, you know, which the ones
she doesn't even know.
From, or,
right.
You know, the ugly on the outside and the ugly
On
inside. Boop, juju been thrown at you.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is when they call themselves throwing a juju spell on me. Okay, in case you missed it, let's play it again. But mind you, they don't even know what juju, witchcraft, voodoo is. They don't have a clue. And I can tell by the way she's explaining it. Because juju is just like a nickname for witchcraft. They don't use that all over Africa. Nigerians mainly use juju. Okay? So voodoo is another, that's a practice, I wouldn't say it's a religion, a philosophy. It's like a spiritual belief system, okay, that people practice, all right? Witchcraft is the dark side of all the spiritual things, okay? Juju is a nickname for witchcraft. They don't even know that. They don't even know what they're doing. And that's how you get in trouble. When you don't know what you're doing. Because if you knew what you were doing, you wouldn't be on YouTube bragging about the fact that you use witchcraft. You wouldn't tell anybody you use witchcraft. because that's not something you want people to know. Now I look like I'm frozen again. That's not something you want people to know. People who actually do witchcraft, they're not on TV telling you about it. They're not on anything telling you about it. They're just doing it. And before they do it, guess what? They consult the oracle. Just like in 300, they consult the oracle, which is God. They don't, well, I don't know who their God is. I don't know. I'm going to say the oracle. Oracle is like a voice of reason, a wisdom voice, a wise voice, a spiritual person, a spiritual guidance. All right. So these people who really do witchcraft, they know you can't just go around willy lily, boo juju on you. You can't do that. You don't do that because you can make a mistake. And they know that if you try to put juju, you try to put a spell on the wrong person, oh my God, it's going to come back on you. It's going to backfire on you. And when they did this, call themselves doing this to me, I just thought, oh, y'all bigger fools than I thought. Bigger fools than I. Let's watch it again.
Sorry. Says Mr.
Look, they don't
True,
even know.
those stimulus checks brought a lot of people back.
Wow.
Wow, that's sad. Ricardo Holloway, peace to the bag family. Beautiful African Queen says, your video are a great help with planning my trip to the Gambia.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's what they're for. That's what they're for.
See? That's what they're for.
Lady 67 says, I saw your videos on rainy season. I'm going back to watch them. Understand that rainy season, yeah, it can be bad, but you know, normally it's not real bad because it's not raining every day. It actually get heavy rain around, I believe,
September.
August, September.
Mm-hmm.
Once the end of September, you know, it just, you know, start to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get to the spell.
Again, it can rain today. It can rain in the morning.
But this is the whole video when they were talking about me on this video.
It is no juju is casting spell. Voodoo is a way of life.
Oh, okay. Got you then.
I don't know. I think juju protects you.
Yeah, juju's not casting
At least
a spell.
that's what they say here. It's more of a, I don't know, maybe it's different for whatever you have it for, but certain ones I know is to protect you from.
She don't know what she talking about.
You know,
she don't have a clue what she talking about.
Who got the movement from, or
right?
You know, the ugly on the outside and the ugly inside. Boop, juju been thrown at you.
Go ahead, sweet mama.
Listen to it. Go ahead, sweet mama. And she laughing.
Came from my ancestors.
You're right. You're right. I've seen them here in the museum. They show it all.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So after that, that's when I think, okay, this chick really just went on YouTube. Her and her husband just really went on YouTube and just called themselves throwing a juju spell on me for real. So after they did that, this is what I did. I made a video about them. So it looks like I'm frozen up again. I don't know what the problem is with this Wi-Fi and me freezing and all of that, but I have to call these people about this. I don't appreciate that at all. So hold on, let me show y'all. This is how it all got started. So then after they made that video, I came back with this. Okay, let me pull this up for y'all to see this. And this was crazy, y'all, because I had not anticipated any of this. You know, I'm just going to Gambia, doing my own little thing, being my own little person. And I get there, and then I make this video. Let me pull this video up. I wasn't going to show them, because I really don't like these videos I don't like when I get angry, and I just don't like acting like that. I don't like going off on people. I don't like fussing at people. I don't like I don't like I don't like when I have to act like this, because this takes me down to places I don't want to go to. You know what I mean? I don't like being this type of person. But I'm like, come on, you ain't gonna keep thinking you gonna talk to me crazy. You're not gonna keep going talking, thinking you gonna talk to me any kind of way. That is not what we doing here. So after they called themselves doing this juju spell on me, and then one of the ladies who was pretending to be my friend was on there, just big upping them pretty much, all ha 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 ha, yeah, she ugly, ha ha. But all this ridiculousness. Who cares if you don't think I'm attractive, Rick and Cynthia? I'm not supposed to be attractive to you too. Who cares about any of that? But they just thought that was such a ha ha he he moment, and that it was just so funny. And they're gonna put a juju spell on me. So this is what I couldn't believe it. So I had to say something. And this is what I said.
He loves Nigeria. How you guys doing today? I am doing just fine.
Now remember, this is before the aligners, all right? Because these people had such a problem with with me getting dental work done, that I had to stop the show and go get my dental work done. So this is before that, okay?
I am cooking dinner, and I want to talk to y'all while I'm cooking dinner about some more things that Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy, better known as the Bag family, Rick and Cynthia, said about me. This part was really disturbing, y'all, because it's hard to watch their videos, right?
Right.
Because the way they talk, especially Cynthia, her English is horrible. Okay, y'all. 1 hour and 26 seconds into the video, she calls herself.
No, it's not 1 hour and 26 seconds. It's 1 hour, 26 minutes. That's why you couldn't find I forgot who was looking for it, and they couldn't find it.
Putting a curse on me. Y'all, I cannot believe it. Y'all gotta go watch this. And what is truly disturbing about this is because you can tell Rick and Cynthia don't know the first thing about witchcraft.
They
don't know the first thing about juju. They don't know the first thing about
No, they don't.
Because if they did, they would never mess with someone like me.
No, they
wouldn't
wouldn't
do that, okay? Because they would know the repercussions. Because look at all the people I've talked about on my channel. Look what happened to them.
Yeah.
Look at their views. Look at their channel. Look at what happened to them.
Yeah.
So that should show you that there is a higher power on my side.
Right.
There's a higher power that stands with me.
Right.
There's a higher power that speaks through me.
Right.
Okay. This is not me. This is the higher power that lives inside of me. So I'm on their mission. I'm doing what they tell me to do. So for Raggedy Ann to try to come after me with a curse from her lesser God, she don't even believe in God, y'all.
No, they don't.
That's how you know she don't know what she's doing.
They don't even believe in God.
Ancestors. Who are your ancestors, lady? Do you even know who?
No, she don't know.
Are?
She don't have
How
a clue.
You have ancestors and you don't even have a higher power. You don't even have God. What are y'all talking about? Y'all don't even know what y'all talking about. But you messed up when you thought you was gonna curse me. You messed up. Because let me tell you what you did, Cynthia. What you did, cursed yourself.
She did.
That's what you did when you thought you cursed me. Because my ancestors ride and die for me every day, all day. And you did that in the land of my ancestors while I was here.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Girl. You don't know what they about to do to you. I pray they have mercy on your soul because they coming for you and they gonna come hard.
Yep.
And all they told me when I saw that, you know what they said to me? Raggedy Ann, Cynthia, Bag Lady, you know what they said to me? They said everything she think about is gonna fail.
Yep. I sure did. From The Color Purple.
Come back on her even harder.
Sure did.
Everything. Make a video and make sure you tell her that. And that's what I'm doing. I'm making a video, Cynthia, to let you know what they told me to tell you. They said, don't be fooled because they're coming for you.
Yep.
Okay?
And they did.
You should have never thought you was going to curse me, baby girl. Not in the land of my ancestors. I don't care where you are. You don't dare try to use the spirit world against me.
And she did.
You made a fool's move.
She sure did, honey.
Raggedy Andy sat there and let you do it. But like I said,
she sure did.
You think you wish for me? It's coming back to you.
Sure is.
10,000-fold. Now y'all watch bad crumble from this day forward.
Yeah.
They were already crumbling, but watch them crumble. Because you don't dare try to curse me, honey. You don't dare try to put juju on me. You're a fool, Cynthia.
Sure
you're
is.
Dumb and you're stupid. You're dumb and you're stupid. You think you know so much and you know nothing. Because if you knew anything, you would know not to come for me. Now let's watch and see what happens.
So, what happened after that? Y'all said we was going to watch and see. So I'm on fire by that point. I'm mad as I don't know what. Because I'm like, I don't know who this woman thinks she is. So, they done put the curse out. All right. I done responded to the curse. So, I ain't thinking no more about them. I'm living my life in Africa. You know, I'm in the Gambia with my husband. Was he my husband there? I think he was. I'm living my life with my husband. All right. I'm living my life with my husband. He think me and Quasi going out. I wake up. I swear to y'all, this is just how this happened. I swear. I was at home in the Gambia. I woke up. My husband was at work. I said, okay, I'm going to call Quasi. I want to go to lunch. I'm going to see if Quasi want to go to lunch with me. I call Quasi, right? I say, Quasi, let's go to Solomon's. Quasi like, okay, I'll meet you there. So we hook up. We used to meet at this green building where this big, it was a gas station, but it was a real busy gas station. It had like a little store. We would always meet there. So we met there and we decide we're going to go to Solomon's, right? Y'all not going to believe. Well, y'all believe it. Y'all saw the video. But what happened after we got to Solomon's? For one, let me tell y'all exactly what happened. When we walk in, we don't even notice them when we walk in because we're walking in, we're walking together and we're talking, right? I look up and I was shocked. I seen Rick. I didn't see Cynthia. I guess she was at the restroom. I see Rick. All right. And me and Quasi are both like shocked when we see them. So first we're like, are we gonna sit here or are we gonna sit someplace else? So we sat there, the table was right in front of them. Okay. So I was like, well, let's sit in wait a minute, y'all, I'm looking for that video. So I was like, he said, do you want to sit here? I was like, yeah, we could sit here. So I was like, yeah, we don't have to move because of them, because we wasn't moving because of them, right? Because at first we was like, Quasi spoke to them, but he kind of acted kind of nasty to Quasi. So Quasi was just like, well, he wasn't going to say nothing else to him. So he was like, do you want to sit here, Kiki, or do you want to move? I was like, no, we could sit here. I ain't paying them no attention. So we sat down, and then Cynthia, y'all, where is the whole video? Oh, shoot. Hold on. So we sit down, and Cynthia wasn't out there. So Rick wasn't saying nothing to us. He was just pretty much ignoring us until Cynthia got back. So Cynthia gets back, and then Quasi goes over there. Was that a lie? I think I was live then. That wasn't a video, y'all. I was live. Let me go down here and look. He goes over there. He's trying to talk to them because he's a real nice person. He's trying to talk to them, to, you know, whatever problems they having over there, he trying to squash it. Because I hear him, you know, he talking to them, and they're like, well, Quasi, don't let her, you know, come between us over here. She's not one of us. And I'm hearing all of this. She's not one of us. You know, you should not let her influence you. You're one of us. She's not from over here, blah, blah, blah. So I'm listening to all this, but then, you know, when they're on YouTube, you know, they dogging Quasi, but behind everybody's back, they over there kissing this man's ass. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh God, I said a cuss word. I'm sorry. But behind the stage, they're, you know, they are, you know, kissing up to this man, trying to get this man to do whatever that, you know, they want him basically to not talk to me anymore, not be cool with me anymore, don't do anything with me anymore. You know, this is basically what they're trying to get him to agree to. Okay. So he's talking to them and they like, well, Elvin told us this. I hear them saying, well, Elvin said this, Elvin said that. You know, they're trying to blame Mr. Elvin for all the things that's being said. So after that, okay, I'm gonna just show y'all this one. So after that, Cynthia comes. Well, Cynthia's over there. Cynthia's over there. Wait a minute. After Cynthia comes over there. Okay. And when she comes over there, everything changes. Rick starts, you know. Okay, hold on. After that, everything changes. And then Rick wants to, you know, he want to jump out bad and stuff because Cynthia's out there. So she tells Quasi, I'm filming her. I think I might have got her.
My husband want me to come home because this old hood rat over here.
But this ain't the video.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? I'm just sitting here at what's this place called? Solomon's, and hey y'all, I'm at Solomon's. Can y'all believe? Okay, hey y'all, I'm at Solomon's. Can y'all believe the borehole and the borehole plug was in here and they just threatened me? Can y'all believe that? The borehole plug had the nerve to threaten to do me physical violence. I got it on videotape. I'm gonna show y'all. Hey y'all. Hey everybody, how y'all doing? I'm just sitting here at what's this place called? Solomon's, and I'm waiting for Cynthia from the bag lady from Black Acres of the Gambia, the bag lady, to come over here and whip my ass. Yeah. Yeah. So now my husband want me to come home because this old hood rat over here threatening me. Look, I can't even talk now. I'm so outdone. But this shit funny for real, y'all. This shit is funny because she don't know the streets I come from. You can stand there and perform like that all day, every day. But what
I'm trying to find the other video now.
On Kiki Love.
That's what I'm trying to find. It was another video. And this video, I might have took it down. I don't think I did though. And this video, that's the video where we was actually, where I have her. I know I didn't take that video down. Let me go to the other videos because that's one of my top rated videos. But she wants to come up on me like she want to fight me. All right. Now we're overgrown women with grandkids. We ain't even overgrown. We grandmas. All right, we two grandmas in this club. We're in the club now. Two grandmas in the club, not the club, Lord, at the bar, right? So she decides, she's telling Quasi to tell me don't film her, which I'm not filming her. You can see the back of her head. I think I had the back of her head because I was telling y'all, look, who's here. Okay. So I'm telling y'all that. And then I get like the back of her head. She jumps up. She tells Quasi I'm filming her. But now, mind you, all these people she done filmed. So Quasi comes over to me. He asked me not to film her. I said, Quasi, I'm not filming her. You know, I'm talking to the people. So he's like, okay. He said, oh, she's not filming her. So Cynthia gets up and Cynthia decides that she wants to fight me. Okay. She decides that she's in this club. Y'all, I cannot find that video. I don't know the name of the video now. She decides she wants to fight me in the club. Okay. So we're arguing. Well, I don't know what I was saying, but I was telling her she wasn't going to hit me. I knew that part. I kept saying, you're not going to hit me. I kept saying, you're not going to do anything to me. You know, I knew I kept saying that. And I kept telling her, she kept walking behind me. She wasn't in front of me. She was walking behind me. And my back was to her. And that's how I knew Cynthia was just a lot of talk. Because when somebody is sitting down and their back is to you, you have the advantage. You know what I mean? She had the advantage over me. And if Cynthia was going to do something to me, she would have done it right then. That's when I knew she wasn't about that life. That's when I knew she was a talker. She wasn't a walker. Because she was just talking. She kept doing all this talking. And I'm like, I'm not doing all this talking with you. You know, she doing all this talking. I kept telling her, you're not going to hit me. And I meant that. And she didn't. She just kept making all these threats while Rick was grabbing the drinks. You know, I thought they was drunk. He's grabbing her drinks. You know, she's still threatening me. She gonna do this, calling me ugly this, ugly that. I don't care if you think I'm ugly, woman. So she calling me ugly. You know, people looking at us all crazy. The place is full of Europeans. It was horrible. It was, when I tell y'all, it was horrible and it was embarrassing. It was horrible and it was embarrassing. And I wish I could find a video, but I don't even know where the video is right now. I'm trying to find it. I got so many videos on here. And it was just horrible. So she calling me all these names, the people looking like they can't even believe it. All these European people everywhere, you know, just looking around like, you know, like they can't even believe it. I know they couldn't believe it was happening. I couldn't believe it was happening. So after that, Rick keep pulling her away like she gonna do something, but y'all know she wasn't gonna do nothing because she like I said, my back was to her. And if she was going to do something, she would have done it. So after that, you know, that was pretty much the end of it. There was no fight. She didn't do nothing. She just was cussing, you know, like she always do, calling me names. I ain't care nothing about that. So after that, she decides, well, I leave. I go home. I still can't find that video. Hold on, y'all. No, maybe I took it down, but why would I take it down? I'm gonna have to look for it when I'm not on here. And I bet you as soon as I get off of here, I'm gonna find it. All right. So after that, the spell was cast. All right. We had got into it. She didn't do nothing but run her mouth like she always do. There was no fight. There was nothing. She didn't hit me. She just ran her mouth. And like I said, my back was to her. If y'all know what the video is, y'all send me the link so I can show the video. I don't know what I did with the video. But anyway, so now, after that, I go back home. That's the end of it. But we're still going back and forth on social media. So we're going back and forth on social media. Of course, they taking it into real life. They still contacting the state. They still contacting my employer. They still doing everything. All right, so years go by. I noticed Black Acres views are dropping. You know, the views are dropping. I noticed people aren't giving money. I noticed they're not uploading videos like they used to. Then but you know, I'm still watching. And then I started noticing about the house, right? I'm like, they got all this money, but all they built was the house. You had enough money to build that house. I don't know how many times. So the house is built. Well, they say the house is built, but they never show us the house, right? So they show us little snippets of the house, you know, little little things that they show us of the house. So when I was getting ready for this show, I said, I'm looking back on Black Acres. Where are they now? And I said, after that incident, it's been like 4 years. I said, I knew the curse would backfire on them just simply because of what I was doing and what they were doing and who I am and who they are. And then I said, let's look and see if we can find proof or if we can find any signs that this curse, this curse she called herself putting on me, let's see if this curse really did come back on them. All right. So the first thing I did, I wanted to know, I took some images from Black Acres, right? And I put it in the Chat GPT. Because, Chat GPT can look at an image and tell you, give you information on the image. So I said, let me take these images and see what Chat GPT is going to tell me about these images, what it's going to tell me about this land. I took images of the land and I uploaded images of the land because I wanted to know exactly what did this AI thing think about Black Acres. So the first thing I asked is I wanted to know about the swampland. Because y'all know we have been this is the foundation I'm showing y'all. This is the image that I put in about the foundation. I put in some images about the swampland. Let's start with the swampland because that was the biggest thing. All right. And I asked AI about that after I put the images in. And AI was explaining to me, well, swampland is really characteristics of a land. Like it's a land that has these certain characteristics, right? Now let me show you this picture. So this is Black Acres. All right. And this is their land. When they were getting this land, people were saying this land was swampland. And, we were all
a temporary little fence structure. Ooh.
Now I want y'all to just look
I think
at the land.
when we come out here, I think these guys should go ahead and hit that weed eater.
Right up in here.
Yeah, come through here.
But this land gets very wet and mushy. Okay. Very land. Right, it's not, it's rare that it's all dry. Even when it's not rainy season, I'm sure there's parts of this land that are mushy. Because when we went out there was parts of this land, the soil is not compacted dry like hard soil. It's flaky soil.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Beat it up with the weed eaters and the
So that was the first thing.
And come behind it with that riding mower.
People were saying was that this land
somehow something looks different.
It does.
Was swampland. So I asked AI about that. I said, well, tell me about swampland.
No, I think somebody been out here probably. See how the fence on the other side, the wood is knocked down?
Right, that's what I say. Something looks different.
Yeah, well.
And see how the fence never stood up?
Devils are in the mist.
All right, so let me tell you what AI said about the swampland when I asked them about swampland. Was this swampland? All right, because this is what we're going to tell whether the witchcraft backfire, the juju backfire, because you spent everything you had on some land that you promised us you were going to build us stuff with, and they didn't. They kept it for themselves. That was the first evil that they done. Well, guess what AI said once I gave it images of the swampland. I'm sorry, of the land. It says swampland is basically land that is saturated with water, sometimes all year round, sometimes seasonally. It's soil that just doesn't drain well. We know the soil at Black Acres does not drain well. You might see water pooling after a rain. After it rains, do we see water pooling? Yes, we do. Or muddy spongy ground. That's what I wanted to call it. It's muddy and it's spongy. There's part of the ground that is spongy. It's not hard. That will never seem to dry out. All right. This is the particular case. In this particular case, the land shows clear signs. This is when I put the image in there of poor drainage. When you try to build on it, the ground can't hold a heavy structure because it's too soft and waterlogged. That's why it's called swampland. The swampland isn't dangerous in itself, but it becomes dangerous when you put but it comes with major construction challenges. So, AI said this land is obviously swampland, whether they want to admit it or not. This is swampland. This land does not stay dry. This land has spongy areas. This land is muddy. It's saying, but you can build something on here, but you're going to have major challenges when you try to do so. All right, you're going to have major challenges when you try to do so. So let me play this video for a minute because I got to go put this phone on a charge. So check this out about what they're saying and check out what I just described to you. Muddy, spongy, not dry, pools of water.
Along with some, and the DMPs, hey, they're right behind devils, those DMPs and stuff. So anyway, all right, let's go ahead and get through this. Yep, then we'll resume. But look, all this is dry.
Oh yeah.
Just need to go ahead and knock this on out. But look, huh?
My knees starting to hurt.
Like my left ankle, sweet mama.
I'm getting stronger and stronger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see. Well, I'm thinking the barbed wire was gone there.
Oh yeah, the barbed wire's there. Just the wood. All right, let's go ahead and step through here, huh? Shoot, that pales in comparison to what it was. But you could tell it's time to restart. It's time to start watering again.
Oh yeah, once we bring the rider out here, they can go straight down this now.
That look good though. That look good right there.
I ain't even mad, sweet.
Me either, sweet mom. Because if we wouldn't have came out here and did a little something,
it would have been harder.
Yeah, this would have been unbearable. So this looks real good.
Oh yeah.
All right. I'm gonna let's go ahead and check this right quick. The security house. And then we'll go ahead and look at the rest of the place. All right, let me out for now, guys.
Get out here and repaint it.
Somebody.
For those of y'all that say, hey, we over here taking advantage of people and people don't like us and we ain't paying enough and all that old negative stuff that you're saying and you ain't even here. Somebody just brought us another plant and left us a courtesy note. Let's see what that note say right there. Came in here and stuff.
I hope ain't none boom.
That might be from a DMP and a devil. Now you never know.
That stuff they used to do in cyanide.
Whatever,
When
sweet
the dust get on you, you die within 3 minutes.
Whatever.
All
right,
I'm just saying now.
Let's see
what that message say. You mothers.
So see, this is, and then look in the back. See, this is the stuff AI was looking at. See the gravel and stuff. See how the cement is chunking up. Crumbling. Those were the signs that it was looking at. Okay, so remember, we're analyzing to see if this curse backfired on them. Okay, because she caught herself putting a curse on me. But it looks like, honey, she's the one who bought swampland, okay? Because we know for a fact this is swampland. Let me show you another thing that proves this is swampland, okay? Remember when they used to talk to us about the land getting, having fish on it, all right? AI was saying that's another way you know that this land was not what Rick and Cynthia is using this land for. Is not the purpose of this land. This land was what it was used for. Remember, before Rick and Cynthia bought this land was used by the locals, okay? Remember, the locals used to fish on this land, they used to hunt on this land, and they used to do fishing, hunting, trees. They would get wildlife on this land, all right? And they would grow rice. That was another thing AI said. It said you could grow rice on this land. Rice would go very well on this land, but it's going to be hard to grow anything else because the land is too muddy. They said this land belongs to the water. This land does not, this is not land. This land is a part of the water. The water is underneath the land, okay? It's rising up through the land. So let me show you this about the fish. Remember they were talking about, oh, these fish, they come from the sky. No. That shows you how much this land is a part of the water. It is not dry land where you can just build on it. So hold on, let me get over there and show you this part. 1 second. Hold on, y'all. That part, when I read that, I just couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. That makes so much sense now. But, okay, he's explaining to you how the rain, they're talking about it rains fish. Okay, but it's not raining fish. The water, you look at the look, y'all. This is swampland. This is swampland. Look behind Omar. I think that's his name. Look at this. You see all this water back here? You see all that, how it's pools of water and it's everywhere? That's a sign that this is land, is swampland.
No stop. Right. When it's raining.
Yes. A lot of rain.
Take something, bucket, big bucket.
A big bucket, yeah.
Yeah, put it on the rain and you look.
Fish being the water.
When the rain close, you look.
Wow. But how's it coming from the?
Yeah,
it's coming from the sky.
Everything is.
I understand now.
Yeah, I know you never
seen that before. Yeah,
you never had that. You never seen it. But I'm the one who told you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now I know.
Yeah, we gotta hurry up. Oh my God.
Look it.
That's what he said.
Yeah. Look it. When the rain is coming since in the morning up to evening, no stop.
Right.
Yeah, when you see that type of rain,
yeah,
take a big bucket, put it somewhere else, which you know that.
And it's gonna run. The fish gonna fall in the bucket.
Yeah. When the rain finish, you look. You will see
small. But wait, that's not frog, like frog tadpole.
No,
it's fish.
Yeah,
like Harmon says, fish.
Yeah, small one. Then those type falling here. When the rain come, they push them inside.
But wait a minute, where the fish coming from?
It just come from the rain.
No, some are coming from the rain, some are burning from the river. Yeah. Just like that.
I don't get that one.
Yeah, you never know that.
I know now.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Because Rick and Cynthia don't understand that this land they bought was actually, it probably was underwater at one time. It probably goes underwater sometimes. But they don't understand that this land is saturated with water. Saturated. The water is underneath. Okay? Underneath. So that's why you see these fish when the water gets heavy during the rainy season, it rises up through the soil. Okay? That soil is not even good soil. So, swampland it isn't just a label. It has to be fact-based, okay? And this is what you got to look for. We looked at the soil. We looked at the water, all right? We looked at what they said this land was used for. And AI said, if you're thinking about investing in some land like what Black Acres have, you need to know exactly how all of that is going to impact you, because you're not going to be able to build that house there, because you're going to have to build the house on special stilts or a special architecture. It's something special that you have to build this house, okay? And they didn't do that. So that's the first thing. This land, okay, unfortunately, this land is not what they think it is. This land is indeed swampland. And I believe Black Acres know that it's swampland. At this point, they have to know because they've had a lot of problems with their housing. All right. And they said that was another way you were going to be able to tell. All right. So let's go back to here. Let me get your questions. I'm trying to rush. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to slow down. All right. Because this is a lot of information that I'm throwing at y'all. So first, let me back up. All right. So we got to the part about the curse, them putting a curse on me. And I'm telling y'all that it don't work like that, that this curse will backfire and it will hit you all upside your head. And that's what happened to Rick and Cynthia. This curse has hit them all upside their head. Okay. And they're the ones who are cursed. Okay. So if you see, they made this land deal. They had problems with the deal. All right. With the land deal. Then after they have problems with the land deal, they end up paying twice as much for this land. Okay. And on top of that, this land is nothing but what, y'all? Swampland. He can do nothing. He is limited to what he can do on this land. So remember, they're cursing me. They're putting spells on us. They're cursing people in the community. They're blackballing people in the community. They're defaming Crazy Boy. They defamed Elvis B&B. Anybody who rises up against them, they shoot them down and they keep them down. So this is what they're doing. So they thinking they are doing it. They thinking they are running the Gambia, running the repat movement. So they got this land. They got these 26 acres of land. So they really think there's something. But guess what? That 26 acres of land is worth nothing. That 26 acres of land is swampland. All right. So, wait a minute. That's where we are now. All right. That's where we are now. So we're at this point. So again, I told you I went to AI because I wanted to know. I wanted to know. So the AI looks at the picture and they say, yeah, this is swampland. They can tell, well, they didn't call it swampland. They could tell it was swampland by the amount of moisture in the land. All right. So that's the first thing, how I know Black Acres is cursed, because you spend everything you got on swampland that won't even hold your house. Rick needs to borrow. Oh my God, JW, salt water. That's erosion. We're going to talk about that. But you know what? I'm sorry to tell y'all this, but I think we're going to have to do another show. I know y'all like another one. Yes, because I got to point out the swampland. I got to point out the foundation. The foundation is all messed up. And I got to point out how I know. And I got to break down to you how I know. Then I got to point out, what was the other one? Swampland Foundation, the borehole. They've always had a problem with that. The suckaway pumps, all of that. They've had problems with that. That's tied to the land not being any good. I'm not going to say it's not any good. It's not good for the purpose it's not for the purpose that they are using it for. All right. So we got to take this bit by bit. I can't do 10 years that fast. That's why I'm talking fast, and I can't do that. I got to slow down because it's too much information, and y'all going to go into information overload. All right. So let me take y'all comments. Hey, Charlie, how you man? He says, Rocky Rick. Yep. Eddie says they showed some big watermelons that they grew in their garden. Swampland for swamp people. Yep. Rick needs a brawl. Salt water. The boreholes are probably more shallow. Is that supposed to be shallow? Shallow than others, and 2 feet of water. Fish eggs hatch from the heavy rains. Yes, and that was when I put that in there, that's when they was like, oh, this is a big problem. And I'm like, the fish, there'll be fish in the water. Remember when there was fish in front of the gate? Well, that's what they were saying. The fish in front of the gate are nothing but that's how you know there's water underneath. Okay, there's water underneath Black Acres. And the water, when it rains, it's like it's nowhere for the water to run off. Because remember, the water isn't running to Black Acres, it's like running from Black Acres. You know what I mean? The water's draining from Black Acres. Does that make sense to y'all? Like the water's coming from Black Acres, okay, when it gets full like that. So that's why this is a big problem. The land alone and the way they got the land. Rick knew these people were living on, these people were farming this land. He knew what this land was, but he didn't care. I guess he felt like if they people don't care, why should I care? So he didn't care that he was displacing people. He didn't care that he was making people hungry. He didn't care that these people would not have access to what they used to have access to. He didn't care about any of that. All he cared about was he thought he was going to get this 26 acres of land for dirt cheap. You mean to tell me they were actually believing the fish, yes, were raining from the sky? Yes, unbelievable. Yes, they didn't. To this day, I don't think he understands that that land belongs to the water. I don't think he understands that. I think he thinks the water is separate from that land, and it is not the case. That land and the water are one. You know how sometimes it gets dry? That's what it's doing. But they can never be separate. You mean to tell me they were actually believing the fish were... Oh, I'm sorry, I read that. Mysticism. Flying fish. Get the heck out of here. Hey, Fiona. They're tripping. Fish dropping from the sky out at back. They did think that, y'all. Hey, Fiona, they did think that. There's a river next to the land. That's why it's swampy. And that's Byron. That's what he was saying. That land is a part of that river. Okay? That land is a part. And it's just like this same thing is happening in Lagos, Nigeria. The land, Lagos was a swamp. It was like just swampy water everywhere. So man came there and man wanted to make Lagos into a city. So that's what they did. But the river, the lake, the water is coming to reclaim Lagos. It's like a big fight to reclaim Lagos. That's why every year it floods really bad because people, what they're using Lagos, Nigeria for over there in Lakey, Victoria Island, Banana Island, all of that is water. Water. There's this thing called Lakey Reserve, Conservatory Reserve, and I went there and I talked to the man, and you would not believe it. And I said, do you think one day the water is going to win? He said, I know it is. He said, the water comes back to claim what is hers. Lagos, Nigeria is hers. That area where Rick is hers. And she's coming back to reclaim it. He wants to fight them. He can fight all he wants. He can fight all he wants. But the water, she's already started reclaiming it. Has anyone ever seen Rick and Cynthia offer anyone even a cup of water? No. They let you take them dirty, pissy vegetables, though. Play with nature and nature will, yeah. And that's what they're doing, Monique. Is that Mom? What's your name? Yeah. Nature's going to show you. Cynthia's Burger. That is not nice, London. Lady. The places look like a pigsty. It really does. Babbling fools lying to themselves. Yeah, looks like a livery. I remember Mr. Kente told them that land wasn't good for growing too many crops. It's not. Just a few crops could survive there. Crypto Walk, I'm so glad you're back. We missed you. That's the same thing AI said. They said the land would be good. When I described, I said, well, this is what they used it for. And he said, yeah, that's a good idea. That's what it's good for. You can hunt there. You can fish there. You can collect wood there. But he said any structure you're going to put on there, it has to be designed by an architect. It cannot be just something you put together. And it cannot be, I'm going to give y'all a hint. We're going to get to this next week because I'm going to break it all down about the house. The house is not going to stand, y'all. It may be standing now, but we don't know how well it's standing. But it's not going to stand for long because of the way they put it together. And remember, I showed you a picture of the foundation. So you know what I did with them pictures. I put them pictures in AI and said, tell me the red flags you see. And it broke it all down for me. But I don't have time to break it down tonight. So we're going to have to wait till next week. No, that wasn't their house. That was somebody else's house. High water table is also why they are getting septic tank. Yep, he's right. Dr. Johnson is right. Pumped 2 times a year when they usually drain once a decade. We talking about that too. That's why we got to do another one. Because did y'all notice that? Did y'all see that? They were drained 2 times in 1 year. That's not normal. I asked AI that. AI said, no, that's not normal. They said just what Mr. Johnson said. It's because of the way the water table there is really high. And the way they put the septic tank together was, Rick doesn't use professionals. And when you're on this type of land, you got to have professionals. Oh, I'm trying to jam jars. I'm trying to educate y'all as much as I can. The land has high water tables. Those trees will never, no, nothing's going to grow. Rick is delusional. Sorry, brother, but no avocados for you. He does not understand that. He doesn't want to understand that. No, that land is no good. Swamp land. That's what it is. That's what it is. Kiki, your husband, bless him, always come to my mind. Let him work. He wanted less. He wanted to. He do, because he knew. He knew that this man and his wife was in a bad situation and that there's nothing they can do. And that's what he said. He said the same thing. What they're trying to grow, baby, is not going to grow. It's not going to grow there. They can only grow certain things there. And he's from the Gambia. He knows. But Rick and Cynthia are not listening. They're not listening to anybody. You can hear the water under their feet. When you walk, you can. Yep. Why won't those goofies show the whole house? It was the people that helped them buy the house, Crypto Walk says. Because the house is falling apart, Crypto Walk. Now, Crypto Walk, think about it. If the house was fine, if the house was put together good, you know without a doubt they would show the house. You know they would. You know they would do lives in the house just like they did at the other house. They haven't done one live in this house. If they have, I haven't seen it. Have y'all seen it? Yeah, y'all please hit the like button. Ooh, we got 2 shares. They showed some, they showed some of the house. You saw that? I saw that too, Mr. Johnson. They saw that. We just saw the top. But did we see the rest? No. Because what I'm telling y'all is the truth. And Cynthia don't want y'all to, because she wondering, how does she know? How does she know? But we know One wall had to be rebuilt because remember, the wall split. There was a crack all the way across. She's like most bullies. They are cowards. Yeah, she is when it came down to it. Yeah, a lot of Europeans are in the Gambia. Yeah, they were. Cynthia's always film. Yeah, that's why I'm like, how you gonna get mad at me? And girl, you always filming somebody. Talker, not a walker. She is she's a talker, not a walker. She is. Hey y'all, Grandma's Club is crazy. The younger daughter is glad she still catch them live. You remember that, the borehole plug. Oh my God. I was so angry then. Oh, that's why I probably took that video. I gotta find the video what I did with it. So look, y'all, we got 10 minutes before it's 3 hours. Y'all know I can't go past 3 hours. I'm sorry. I'm too tired. All Kiki had to do was move her shoulder and Cynthia would have fell on her face. It was just ridiculous. That's why I have to show y'all the video. Yes, I remember that video, JC. I don't know what I did with it, y'all. I don't know. We are doing too much. Yeah, we are. And that was embarrassing, wasn't it? I was so embarrassed. I didn't know what to do. That's why I just looked around. Like when I wasn't looking at her, I was looking around the room and I saw how everybody was just looking at us and how they were in shock. And I was just embarrassed. Oh, I can't see the comments without these glasses on. I was just really embarrassed. Kiss, that's why they did. You was live and then y'all ran into Cynthia. So it was a live video. I thought it was a live video. I gotta look for it. I might have put it on members only though. What happened to the many diasporan YouTubers who moved to the Gambia from the US and UK career? Most of them have disappeared. Yeah, I told you. Cynthia has always had bad energy. She treats the people in the Gambia and their employees like she's better than them. Girl, by the mad, they mad because they couldn't play with you. Honey, no, I wasn't playing. They knew I wasn't playing though. And Quasi wasn't playing either because he's the type of person when he gets angry. That's why he don't like to get angry because I saw him get angry that day. And he was trying to calm himself down because he don't like to go there. Because it was like, if we both went there, it would have been bad. Because there was nobody to mellow us down. And we would have just been going back and forth with them too. So it was good that he was, at that point in his life where he knows how to calm himself and know that anger is not my friend. So he was like, forget them. We're going to sit right here. Yeah, we ain't moving either. We sitting right here. And so then he saw, hey, if I keep going, this going to go somewhere this week and we going to all be in trouble. So, he was able to calm himself down and, it didn't get out of hand. Then the prosecutor came and I told the prosecutor, that's scary, London. That lady must have done the wrong one. All right. So look, let me go see down here. What does this say? Mr. Johnson says Rick was talking in his last videos. Those brothers on the land trying to stop the erosion. Yep, that's what we're talking about. Put in a drain pipe that is connected to nothing. Rick is stupid. Yes, that's exactly what we're going to talk about next week. I didn't have time to go get into that, but that's what I did, Mr. Johnson. I took all those images. I took the images from that video. I took the images for some more videos, and I put them in AI for them to analyze it. And that's what I have to show y'all. None of that is working. People are just taking Rick's money over and over and over and over again. But like I said, we got to get into that next week. I'm going to present my case next week. Okay. We missed you, Jam Jars. Kiki, we went looking for you. Don't. I'm not. Wait, don't. I'm getting scared now. A lady who cussed me out visited Gambia and must have been cursing me there too. She returned to the UK, then what? Then passed away suddenly a week later. It frightened me. Girl, her energy was bad. I would be scared to go to Gambia with all the killing of the Black Americans and they get away with it. That's just the sad part. Well, Courtney, you got to be careful who you be around. These people be kicking it with anybody. Oh, thank you, Jamstar. She said, congratulations on your many promotions. You told her, Kiki. Honey, I know, I tried. Everybody that went over there playing with them Africans done got whooped. The evidence is here on YouTube. And you see, they all ran back. They are totally stupid. I truly believe they ran Delightful D off YouTube. No, D said she wasn't making no money, Crefto Walk. And you don't really make any money from this. And it's a lot of time. It's time consuming. You know, look how many hours I've been on here today. And that ain't including how many hours I had to prep for this. You know, so it's like, if you're doing this for money, it's just, it ain't worth it because you can go get a part-time job and make more than this. You know, so she was complaining about the videos, that we don't make any money on the videos. And I thought she was talking about she was going to stop because of that. Because it's too much of your time. It takes up a lot of your time. Jams Darts, it's impossible to know Africa and its many diverse cultures in that short amount of time. They don't know nothing. And them Africans gonna show them just how smart they are not. Exactly. Rick and Cynthia children are Black hillbillies. Wow. You know, that's what they used to call us. They used to call us the Beverly Hillbillies when I was little. We didn't care. We liked being called the Beverly Hillbillies because we lived in a nice neighborhood and we only played with each other. Like my family, we were not allowed to play with kids in the neighborhood. If your last name was not our family name, you could not come over our house and you could not play with us. My grandmother told us we only play with each other. Your cousins, those are your friends. Other than your cousin, your friend was Jesus. I kid you not. My grandmother used to tell us, make Jesus your friend. When I would tell her I want to have friends outside of my cousins, she would say, make Jesus your friend. So, and then the girls, I told y'all my favorite thing to do was climb trees. So the girls would climb trees, the girls would wrestle, the girls act like Ellie Mae, and they used to call us the Beverly Hillbillies, but we didn't care. Cynthia's not attractive at all. You look, better than that goof. Oh, thank you, Crefto Walk. You're so sweet. Don't forget the maxing of the credit cards. Yes. You always have the right to defend yourself. Leading your people to poverty and calling it great is ridiculous. Sell everything and come to Africa, build a house and land that you can never be yours. That makes absolutely no sense to me. The witchcraft is messing with the Wi-Fi. No, I need to call them about this Wi-Fi. No, this is ridiculous. This is supposed to be the highest one that they have. No, I'm so sick of them. Rolling BS, then mumble like a drunk. Is she mentally? That's what I said. I thought she was drunk, London lady. I always thought she was drunk. What gets me is they be in 5-10 seconds and they know everything. I know. Ain't that something? They called her employer, but look at right. Sure did. That's what I said. And then when they would call them, guess what they would just come back and they would always tell me to be careful. They was just like, be careful. And do y'all know one time they called and they said that if they didn't fire me, they were going to call the news media. And they gave to me and said, you need to be careful because these people are calling us. And then said, just basically look out for yourself because that's not normal for people to do that. And secondly, they said they were calling the news media. So get your story ready. But this is the stuff they used to do. They're going to sue them if they don't fire me. Stuff like that. Yeah. Because they're giving me a job. That's why they're firing. They're suing them. Kiki, you're frozen and your eyes look brown skin. Don't say that. Oh, God, that's funny. They think they're Harry Potter. Yeah, they do. Hi, Stan there. Stan there is here. It's good to see. Hey, Stan there. Okay, y'all. Oh, it's 3 hours. We got to go. Learning and practicing voodoo in your life, in your like 50s is crazy. Speaks to your character and all of your living in your life. Those two are close to being illiterate. Oh my God, can't stand her voice. She can't even string a sentence together. Such low IQ. Well, that's where we're going to have to stop this week because y'all know we stop at 3 hours. But I'll be back. And there's more to talk about. Because y'all know I like to prove my case. I like to have facts. I like to present you the facts. All right. And I'm going to present you the facts. I'm going to present them all to you next week, and I'm going to break them down. I'm going to break down how the land is swampland. I'm going to break down why the foundation will never hold the house up. I'm going to break down how it was not Solomon's fault. Some of it might have been, and some of it might have been Rick's fault. But we're going to look at the foundation because the foundation is a key to why this house is falling apart. Then we're going to look at 2 major projects that they've been working on since they've been out there, and they will not stand because the land is swampland. The fence, they just spent a whole lot of money on that fence. The fence is not even standing up properly. The fence was not even put in properly. We're going to talk about that next week also. All right. So I'm going to point out to you evidence that this curse has done nothing but backfire on Black Acres. And the evidence is there to prove it. And they face this every single day. All right, y'all. So we're going to be back on Black Acres next week. Did Bag ever meet AP and Jody? That they're super green-eyed about their new house. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know if they ever met them. Everyone who commented, their house ain't put together right. I don't know why they would be jealous of that house. That house ain't put together either right. These people are not putting these houses together right, y'all. They just have putting these houses together. I wouldn't be jealous of that house either. Everyone who commented on negatively will get a spell cast on them. Yeah, that's what they would do. True Kiki, Cynthia would be bragging all over social media. Exactly. That's how I know the house isn't right. But again, we're going to go back into this next week. I ran out of time. I'm sorry, y'all. But it's a lot. Remember, you're talking about somebody who's been there for 10 years now. The daughter showed the kitchen on one of her videos. Yeah, I did see that. I seen that, and she sold something else. But the kitchen, I think that's where the cracked wall was, in the kitchen. when it's swampland, there will never be enough pipes for the drainage to save it. No. And the dirt is no good. Damn and Banana Island, and yes, Byron, yes. All of that is swampland. It really is. And that's why it floods like that every single year. One year, y'all, there were like cars just floating away. Cars just floating away from all the water that had flooded those islands. So we're going to talk about that more next week. Before building on swampland, you need to put down drainage, irrigation system, drains. It's a whole lot, Blessing, that you have to do. AI didn't say it was impossible, but he said this is what you got to do. Did Black Acres do any of that? No. None of it. So it's not if the house is going to fall down, it's when the house is going to fall down. You cannot fight water and wind. No, that's the same thing he said. That's the same. Well, y'all see, I call AI a man, but that's the same thing AI said. That it belongs where Rick and Cynthia they are. That area belongs to the water. That's hers. And if they think she's not going to come to get that, they know she is. That is so interesting, Kiki, regarding the water. Yeah. Because that's how water is. That's how water is. And the thing about it, water is very spiritual. Very spiritual. If you know, like about Ifa, they have this whole thing about water gods. They're called the marine gods. And these marine gods are very powerful gods. And is the river god, is that Oshun? I think that's the river god is Oshun. And Oshun is a very powerful goddess. And she comes for hers, what belongs to her. And people like Rick and Cynthia, Oshun don't play with people like Rick and Cynthia. They will pay for the evil that they've done. So maybe I'll explain that to y'all, okay, about Oshun next week and how the water belongs to the gods, the spirit world. The Gambian River is right there. Low tide, you can walk through. See, exactly. It's right. That's what you call it. The AI thing said. The river is right there. That water wasn't always that low. And you could see where the water has eroded the soil. But this is the thing, y'all, the crazy part. The water does not run onto that. The water runs off of it. Now that's the part that's got me tripping out. Phone tripping or I'm tripping, but my bad for all the time. Oh no, that's okay. It don't matter, honey. Ain't nobody thinking about that. All right, y'all. So let's get off of here. We've been on here for over 3 hours. And we're going to talk about this next week. I saw it's not the first one in Florida. Okay, y'all. Yes, they did because they said that she looked like Jada Pinkett Smith. I don't know what y'all talking about there. Remember the Miami condos just falling down? Yeah, is that why they just fell down? Have a great evening. Okay, y'all have a great evening also. And so don't forget, next week we're going to finish this up. We're going to talk about the evidence that this curse backfired and that the river goddess is coming back for what belongs to her. And I believe it's Oshun. Let me ask and see. I'm pretty sure the river god is Oshun. And Ifa, who is the river goddess? Who is the goddess over the river? Oh, it was Oshun. It is Oshun. How come Cynthia don't know that? She says she's into all this. She should know about Oshun is the river god and that she's living next to the river. How come she doesn't know that? That Oshun is the Orisha of the river. Wow. Wow. We're going to talk about this next week. This is very important. Nobody is using actual pros to build. Well, they need to. All right, yeah, we getting ready to get out of here. Mama Wata is another one. There's a lot of them. And you know, when you live over here by the water like that, you got to be a good person. Because there's spirits that live all along those waters and travel up and down those waters. And if you're a bad person, you better believe you're going to attract all that evil to you. All right, we're going to stop there this now. Was the river goddess in the ancient Egypt? What is that word? Oh, I can't even see it now. Okay, so that was the goddess in ancient Egypt. The water rusted the buildings steel in Florida, salt water. Oh, that's what happened to, well, you know, now just imagine what's going to happen to Rick and Cynthia. Same thing. And it's already happening. They just not telling us. Because all she showed us in that bedroom was the ceiling. And y'all know Cynthia watching. All she showed us was the ceiling because she don't want us to see the rest of it. And we'll rust all the drainage system out there too. Yes. Again, we're going to talk about all this next week. All right. Thank y'all so much for coming out tonight. We've been on here 3 hours and 11 minutes. I am so sorry I was on here this long. But Rick and Cynthia, like I said, these are very important people to talk about when we talk about this repatriation movement in the Gambia. Okay, they're very important to this, to that part of the story. All right, and the evil things that they have done are extremely important because these are the people we need to look out for. These are the people we need to steer clear from. These are the people we do not want a part of this repat movement because look at all the people they brought in. They brought in bad batches, waves of bad people, one after the other. They brought in people like them. People who practice witchcraft, people who were not into unity, people who were not there for the right reason. They brought in like-minded people. And that's what happened. So again, next week, we're going to finish up on Rick and Cynthia. We're going to talk about did the curse backfire? We're going to look at the foundation. We're going to look at their house. We're going to look at the land, the borehole, and the fence. That's too many. Let's cut it down to 3. We'll look at 3 things. All right. We'll look at 3 things and I'll highlight those and I'll tell you. All right. So look, that's all I have for tonight. Thank you so much. And I love you so very much. And I will see you next week. And y'all, don't forget, we have to, well, I haven't forgot, but I need to talk to y'all about a member in our community who was doing work for somebody and there was a problem with the work. The contract got canceled. And now this person was ordered to pay these people some money, but the person is avoiding them and not paying them. So we need to do a show about that, okay? Because this is somebody who I thought was a member of our community, who I thought was cool with us. So I can't understand why they would be doing this in our repack community. But we got to talk about that also. All right. I love y'all. I will see y'all next week. And y'all stay good out there. All right. Bye-bye.